Okay. So I have to stop everything, but still, it's just ridiculous. All right. Try this again. Okay, now we're good. All right. I am on early today. It's going to be an early day today. Yeah. So, got a doctor's appointment today. So, I need to get this out of the way early. So, welcome in. And thanks for the follow. Appreciate that. I hope everyone's having a good Tuesday so far. Looking to get some evidence that God is real. Each breath we take speaks the name of Yahweh, inhaling and exhaling. No, it doesn't. It's not Yahweh. Okay, next. I mean, then I guess the God can be hee haw. Hee haw. Oh, hum. Yeah, I don't understand. Yeah, your breath thanks to your lungs, not some God or whatever. I'm confused. Yeah. Autonomic nervous system, our lungs. Yeah. We do not say Yahweh when we breathe. And even if we did, so what? Well, thanks. Well, I hope we get evidence, right? Because that's how we've found out everything that we know about reality is evidence. So, should be the same for God, right? This God is part of reality. There needs to be evidence for God. That's just how it works. So, let's get some more people in here. And it is an early day, but I'll be here for about 3 hours. You have no definitive evidence that he doesn't. And if he didn't, then why does it matter and why do this? So, that's not how it works, Miss Sarah. It's not how reality works. It is up to the person who asserts something to exist to demonstrate that it exists, right? So I don't tell you I have an invisible fire-breathing dragon in my garage, and you need to prove, Miss Sarah, that it doesn't exist. That's not how it works. It's up to me to provide you evidence for why it exists. So, and why we bring this up as a topic of conversation, Miss Sarah, is because it's dangerous and immoral to believe things without evidence. I am. Actually, Miss Sarah, I'm making money off illogical reasoning. Because if everyone just used reasoning and say, I don't know if this God exists, then that would put me out of business. I mean, it's that simple, right? And we're talking pennies. Thanks for the heart, me, Chris. Appreciate you. So that's all we're talking about. We're talking about pennies. Like I just made a penny. So it definitely doesn't pay the rent, right? So this isn't, it's not a good argument. You're just making money. And you've got plenty of money who are grifting in the name of God, saying that God exists. So can you explain how logic doesn't need God? Yeah. Hypnotized. Yes. Logic doesn't need God because the laws of logic are foundational. You know, we have the laws of logic, right? Which are, I think I still have it up from yesterday. Let me bring it up. Laws of logic are the law of identity, the law of non-contradiction, and the law of excluded middle. These are foundational to our reality. This is how we identify our reality. So if we're saying that you need that logic needs God, then that means that logic did not exist before God, right? That God had to create logic. And how did God create logic without logic? That doesn't make sense. How did God create the laws of logic without the laws of logic? How did God identify things? How did God determine contradiction? That doesn't make sense. So that's how I debunk it. And the easiest way, if it's an assertion, hypnotized, if it's an assertion, you simply say, what's your evidence of that? So if they're going to make an assertion of that, then they need to provide evidence. All right, let's bring up a guest. So if you're up here, if you're in the guest queue waiting, you must be at least 18, a believer in the God of the Bible, the Torah, or the Quran. And please start with your evidence that God is real. All right. Science has holes in it. Explain that. Because we're fallible human beings. So what is your evidence that God is real? I've read many religious books. I've read the Quran. I've read the Bible over a dozen times. I've read the Quran multiple times. I've read the Bhagavad Gita. I've read the Tao Te Ching. I've read various books from Buddhist monks like Thich Nhat Hanh, Buddha himself, Dalai Lama. Yeah, read lots of religious books. All right, let's bring up Joe. What's up, Joe?
Hello. How you doing?
Good. Are you at least 18? And do you believe in which God? The God of the Bible, the Torah, or the Quran?
Yeah, I'm 18 and I'm a Muslim, yeah, so I believe in the Quran.
Oh, justice for Aisha. Right on.
Yeah.
Okay. Justice for Aisha. Justice for Aisha.
Okay.
Justice for Aisha. Justice for Aisha. All right. So what's your best evidence that God is real?
Now, I just have a question for you. What do you think happens after death?
Nothing.
Yeah, so if your religion, whatever not religious, so if you end up being true, so nothing happens to me, but if we end up being true, you're going to burn in hell.
How do you know that?
You just said nothing, right?
No, you said if if what I believe is true, then you're going to burn in hell. So how do you know that?
No, I said if what you believe in is true, nothing is gonna happen to me. But if what I believe in is true, you're gonna burn in hell. So
Okay, so
yeah,
that's
so
what I asked you. How do you know that that's going to happen?
because God sent out prophets through
God sent out prophets?
yeah. So
Okay,
you
so
know
why aren't you a
through.
Mormon?
Why am I not a Mormon?
Yeah, because the prophet
Yeah.
Joseph Smith, and they have prophets, in the Mormon
Uh,
church. So God sent those
nah,
prophets, right?
I believe that he's a false prophet. I believe in Prophet Muhammad.
How did you determine that they're false prophets and yours is the true prophet?
Because we have the Quran and
Quran?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. If you read the Quran in Arabic, there's no human being can make up that type of book.
Okay. So let me ask you a question. Um, is God moral in your book? Does it say that God is moral?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And is it moral to marry a 6-year-old?
Prophet Muhammad didn't marry a 6-year-old. He married
didn't?
he didn't. He married a woman who
He married.
who
How old
reached the
was
age
she?
of puberty. She was
How old?
9 when he married her.
She was 9. So it's moral to marry a 9-year-old?
Right now it's not, but
Okay.
1400 years ago it was different.
It was different. Okay. So Joe, let me ask
Yeah.
you something. Was this so has Allah ever changed?
Has Allah ever changed? No.
Yeah. He's never changed. Okay. So
Yeah.
then when Allah commanded Muhammad, peace be unto him, to marry Aisha at 9 years old, you're saying that God thought it was moral then, and it's not moral now.
Well, that's not how we like you know the what's the word? Like that's not how we know when a woman is, not by age. It's about maturity. It's
It's
when
about
they
maturity. Okay, so what you're
yeah.
saying then is that it's
Is
possible.
when
So then you're saying that a woman can be as young as 9 years old.
right now no, but back then yes.
What changed?
Time changed. It's different.
Time changed. Why is it different?
What it's different. It's
Why is
way
it
too
different?
So you believe it's the same thing 1400 years
Okay.
ago and right now?
I just need to hear an answer to my question.
And
Why is it
I'll
different?
tell you. Okay, I'll tell you just an example. Do you see 15-year-olds
Okay.
leading a whole army?
I need an
No,
answer to my
during our
question.
time right now.
Why is it
I no,
why is it different? You're asking me a question
okay,
with a
I'll tell
question,
you.
and I need an answer to the
No,
question.
no.
Why is it different?
Okay, so back then, 15-year-olds during the time of the Prophet Muhammad, there was a 15-year-old who led an army, but like he was
Okay,
the
how
leader
is
of
that
an army.
relevant to marrying a 9-year-old?
Exactly, I'm telling you. Do you see a 15-year-old leading an army right now?
Okay, we're not talking
No.
about 15-year-olds. We're talking about
I'm
a grown man, a 50-year-old man
exactly.
marrying a
I'm
9-year-old. Okay, so
exactly. That's what I'm
I'm
telling you.
asking you what
People
changed.
back
Why is
then,
it different?
people would mature way faster.
Okay. Hey Joe, do people ever cover their drinks around you? Like, do they just
People ever-
instinctively like, if like there's a drink around, like, should we cover our drinks around you? Like, should we just go like this when you're around?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't care though.
Maybe you don't care. Okay, maybe I should just do that just to be safe. Yeah.
Okay, cover your drink. What?
Yeah, I'll just instinctively cover my drink around you. Would that be? I think that's a good idea.
Ain't nobody want your drink, sir.
Yeah. Oh, it's not about me. It's about not wanting my drink. I just want to stay conscious when I'm around you. So I'm just going to cover my drink like that. So help me out here. So what you're telling me is, if let's just say a member of your family who's over 50 years old, he gets engaged to a 9-year-old, you're going to that wedding?
Probably not.
Probably not. Okay. And why not?
Cause 9-year-olds right now, it's too young for marriage.
It's too young for marriage. Okay. And so I'm
Yeah.
still not hearing the answer to the question, what changed?
What changed? I already
Yeah.
told you. I just gave you a clear example. It's like if I tell you, okay.
No.
If
You
you're going-
shifted
no.
to
Okay.
15-year-olds leading
You
armies.
asked me a question.
That's
If
not
a
an answer to the
50-year-old in my
question.
family, if a 50-year-old in my family married a 9-year-old, will I go? if you were getting deployed to war and the leader of the war was a 15-year-old, would you go?
Okay, so that's still not an answer to my question. You're asking me a question. That's not.
I'm telling you, I
That's
just
not
gave
answering the
you
question.
the clear example of the age difference between our time and the time of the Prophet.
Okay,
Peace be
so
upon
I'm
him.
asking you what changed? What changed?
Time changed.
Time. How does time change things like that?
Okay, how old did Noah live?
Okay, so still not an answer to my question. I'm asking you,
I'm
how
telling
did
you.
time change things? Just answer the question. I'm asking, how did time change things? Can't hear you, buddy. Can't hear you, friend. Your mic is covered.
I told you time changed.
Yeah, but what about time changed? What did time do to 9-year-olds, 1,200 years ago or whatever it was, 1,400 years ago, that time changed 9-year-olds into something different now?
Like I told you, people would mature way faster back then. So
People matured in what way? How?
physical, mental, everything.
And what's your evidence of that?
A 15-year-old leading an army by
A
like he's the
15-year-old
leader of
leading
an
an
army.
army. Okay.
Yeah,
So
during the
15-year-old
time of the
leading an
Prophet
army.
Muhammad.
Got it. And okay. And so I'm still trying to understand how that makes a difference.
That makes it so you have a problem with a 9-year-old getting married, but you don't have a problem with
I
a
have
15-year-old
big
leading
problem with the 9-year-old
leading an army.
married. Yes.
Yeah, but you don't
I have a
like
huge problem
you
with
think
that.
you think it's normal. You think it's normal a 15-year-old leading an army. So yeah,
I never said that. When did I say that?
Like
when did I say the words,
it.
it's normal for a 15-year-old to lead an army? When did I say that?
You never said anything. You just like you're going back to the
so
top.
you're putting
I told
words in
you,
my mouth?
It was different. It was different.
Yeah,
9-year-olds was getting married.
you're just saying it's different, and I'm asking you how, and you haven't answered the question how. How is it different? You're just saying it's time, but what makes time significant here? What did time inject? You said that they just matured faster back then, but how? How did they do that?
Oh yeah, and what was the age of consent in America like 500 years ago? Was it 18?
No, it wasn't 18, and it was wrong. And America wasn't around 500 years ago. So are you driving?
No, I'm not driving.
Yeah, I hear a car. Okay, gotta drop you. Goodness. So, justice for Aisha. # justice for Aisha. Still haven't gotten a really good answer from Muslims over why Muhammad decided to marry a 9-year-old and why Allah commanded it. Why didn't Allah command that? Yep. At least be unto him. That's right. Aisha is the little girl that Muhammad married when he was 50 years old. Oh, that's right. Thank you, Danny J. He married Aisha at 6 and then consummated the marriage at 9. So that alone is reason enough not to be a Muslim. All right, let's move on to the next guest. So if I hear cars in the background, I'm just going to drop you. So if you're driving, just be safe. Just pull over. Especially there's parts of the United States that are in like major winter storms. So it's not a good idea to be driving and living, especially if you're in an area where there's bad weather. So if I hear a car, I'm just going to drop you. All right. Okay, let's move on to the next guest. Could be a passenger, but then get out of the car. All right, let's move on to Catherine Gold. How's it going, Catherine?
Hello, Trust Butt. I can't see your name, sorry.
That's all right. You can just call me Trust. So,
hello.
Thanks for waiting. All right. Catherine, are you at least 18? And do you believe in either the God of the Bible, the Torah, or the Quran?
Yes, I'm at least 18 and I'm a Christian.
You're a Christian. Okay, fantastic. And what's your best evidence that God is real?
My best evidence that I could have to give you or for myself?
Well, for anyone, right? So like there's evidence that my mom exists, right? That my mom is real. And so that's pretty objective evidence. You would agree? So like if I showed you evidence that my mom is real, you'd believe my mom is real, right?
I've not seen your mom. How do I know she's real?
Well, if I gave you evidence, right? Like if I gave you her number and you called her and she answered, if I took you to visit her. Now don't, but just be clear. I have a wife, so this isn't like meet my mom in that kind of way. It's just to prove to you that she exists, right?
Oh no.
Right. So I could demonstrate multiple ways that my mom exists. Like I can show you my birth certificate and her name would be on there, right? And she could send us a picture of her driver's license. And then it would
So that
match,
makes sense.
her name would match the name on the birth certificate. Yeah. And we all have mothers, right? So every one of us has a mother. So we just start there. So there's plenty of ways I can demonstrate that my mom is real to you. Yeah.
I understand that, Trust. And so what you're saying is that if you can prove someone exists, then they exist.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I
So,
would say about God as well.
okay. So, cause like proof is like a body of evidence, right? It's multiple pieces of data that point to the same conclusion. Yeah. So I given you like multiple pieces of data that I could present to you that proves my mother is real. So I'm just looking for one piece of evidence that God is real. So what is your best evidence?
Existence itself.
Existence
Creation
itself.
itself.
Okay. So
Creation.
so science in a sense has an answer for that. So if science, but they didn't come to the conclusion that it's God that created this existence. So how did science come to a completely different conclusion than you did?
Okay, so I can't really answer that because I don't really regard scientists as highly as it seems you do. It seems
Why
some
not?
people, well, it seems some people, everybody has a God, whether you like it or not, and some people their God is science, whether they like it or not.
I don't have a God.
So basically, I want to ask you, who created the science and the scientists and the language and things like? Who do you
did.
think that
Humans did.
Who,
We have
sorry?
evidence of that.
humans? So humans created
Yeah.
mathematics,
Yeah.
science.
Well, we didn't create it. We
Okay.
discovered mathematics. But we created
discovered.
science because science is a method of determining, what is determining things about our facts about our physical world, right? So that's what
So-
science is. And
so
we
we-
use a method, the scientific method, to go about that as an approach. And that's what science is. So
So
yeah,
we
we
created
created that process. Yeah, we did.
So, but you agree? So you don't think we created mathematics? You know we
No,
discovered
we discovered
that.
it. Yeah, we discovered
Right.
it.
So we'll leave science out of it for now. We'll go to mathematics. So who created mathematics then?
Who created it?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know the first person. I would imagine whoever the first person was to discover that 1 + 1 = 2. And I think I said did I say we discovered math? Yeah. Or did I? Yeah, I said we discovered math. Because
So
1
you
+ 1
think-
= 2 is self-evident, right?
Right. So you believe that mathematics. You fail to understand the spirituality behind language, behind creation.
What's
You don't see the-
spiritual? How do you know we have spirituality? Like here's an example, right? I've got, okay, so here's one of my socks, right? It's one of my ankle socks. And don't judge, it's an ankle sock, right?
I'm judging.
Okay, it's okay, you can judge, but it's an ankle sock. It's not a kid's sock, it's an ankle sock, okay? And that's
Small
one
feet.
sock, right?
Hmm.
Oh, I have pretty big feet. I wear size 11, above average.
That is big.
But in US, not UK. Because it sounds like you're from the UK. I'm just presuming.
I am.
You
Yeah.
have a lovely accent. So I'm just
Thank you.
okay. So that's one sock, right?
Mm.
And then that's another sock, right?
Right.
And then we have two socks. So that's math, right? 1 + 1, 1 + 1 = 2, right? So, and I'm not being condescending. I'm just saying whoever was the first to figure this out discovered math.
Discovered. Right.
Yeah. Discovered it
But
because
you realize
because that's pretty
you realize-
self-evident, right? We have
But
one
you
sock
realize
and then
a
two
lot
socks.
of things are not particularly self-evident. Like maths goes deeper than 1 + 1. You do realize that,
Oh,
right?
for sure. I 100% agree. That is very true. Like calculus, not self-evident. And I'm not very good at calculus. I never was.
Right. Exactly.
And I'd say a lot of people aren't, and that's okay. But I agree with you. Calculus is not self-evident. But 1 + 1 = 2 is self-evident, and that is math, right?
Right, exactly. So my point is this. The same way that your blessed mother you can prove her with your birth certificate. You can take me to meet her. I'm married too, so I would never be doing that with you. But
Fantastic.
you know,
Good to hear.
right,
Our
exactly.
spouses are
It's a-
rejoicing right now. Yeah.
Isn't it a good thing? Because you know, so many people can meet up and not be compatible at all. But luckily, that's never going to happen for us.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
basically, you can prove your mum's evidence by showing your mother, showing your birth certificate and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I can prove God by showing the things that He's created. Now, I just want to also say this. I want to say this as well, Trust. The very nature of God and the fact that He is God and He's nothing like anything in creation. We can have a representation of Him or an expression of Him, but the fact that He's outside of time, He's outside of creation.
How is that a
He
fact?
actually says in his word, which is truth, he says that you can't find me. You can look everywhere, but you can't find me, but I'm always there. So a lot of people, especially atheists, they don't have the ability to understand. They don't have the ability to hear God. You've spoken to your mother. I've spoken to God. Very real.
Oh, I thought I spoke to God at one time when I was a Christian. I thought I did.
Like I tell a lot of people, you either are a Christian or you're not. You probably might have been speaking to demons. You can never be a Christian and then leave it. That's impossible.
Gotcha. Okay. So help me out here. How do you know you were speaking to God? Like what was the method you used to verify that you were speaking with God?
Well, so that I know how to answer you, let me ask you this. If it's a blind man saying, how do you know you can see? How would you answer that to him? If a man's blind, he's never seen before since birth, he's probably in his 40s, 50s, 60s, and he's saying, yeah, but how do you know you can see? How would you answer him? What is sight?
And on top of that, blind people in some respects, like very few blind people have like complete and total blindness. Like they have they have like a sensory of it. Like they'll see like different shades of light or be like super blurry. There's like a spectrum of blindness, right? But if you're talking about a person who's completely blind, right? Like they just see absolutely nothing.
They're in darkness. They're lost. They're in darkness.
Yeah. So I would, well, for one thing, I would say, okay, so we have here a box that's right in front of you. Do you see it? And he'd be like, well, no, I don't. Okay. Do you know it's there? No, I don't. All right, let's walk forward. And then that person will run into the box, right? Maybe with his cane, right? Then he'd be like, oh yeah, there it is. And I said, well, see, here's the thing. I saw that box before you knew it was there. So I knew it was there before you knew it was there. Now, how did I do that? And I'd say, with my eyes. I have eyes. And then I would take his hands, at least one hand, and I would have him feel my eyes. And I say, see, I have eyes, just like you have eyes. But see, the thing is that these things, I can see things before you can. So I can demonstrate in multiple ways to a completely blind person that I can see. So and we use evidence for that, right? And I use a body of evidence to prove to him that I can see. And
that doesn't prove sight. That proves that the thing is there, but how do you prove sight? Because you asked me, how do I prove that?
Yeah, I just did, because the way I proved sight was, I did, because what I did was, because the first thing is I told him it's there. And then he didn't know it was there, right? And then I said,
because he could touch it. He could, but trust. Let's slow down a bit, because slow down. He could feel it with his hand or his cane, but how can he see it without having eyes to see? That's what I'm asking you. How do you explain to a blind man?
I just proved it to you. Yeah, I just proved it to you. Oh, you got here. Track with me. Here, rock with me for a minute, all right? So track with me. So you would agree that if I brought a blind person into a room, you would agree that I would know things are there before the blind person knows things are there, right? Like I would know a couch is in the room. I would know a table is in the room. I would know.
Wait, right? Slow down. Slow down.
Well, hold on. The question is, you would agree with that, right? Well, hold on. No, answer my question.
That's going off. That's going off. That's going off of what I asked.
No, it's not going off. You would agree that with the blind person that I would be able to know what's in the room before the blind person does, right?
No, I don't agree that. I don't agree
with that. How would the blind person if we've both never been in a room before, how would a blind person know what's in the room before I would?
Okay. That's got not now you. What I want to say, if you're in a room with a blind person, there's a table there. He can feel the table, but you can see the table. And he says to you, "But how do you know you can see it? How do you explain to him vision for a man who's in the darkness
Okay.
and he can't see?" That's
Okay.
my question.
Okay. So let's go back to my question. We're kind of dodging my question. My question is, if a blind man and I, who have never been into a room before, we walk into a room at exactly the same time, who's going to know what's there first, me or him?
You're gonna know.
I'm going to know. Perfect. Okay. So if I'm going to know what's there, and let's just say I ask the blind man what's here, what's he going to say?
He's gonna try and fiddle around with his little cane and trying to find out, and then he'll say, "Oh,
yeah.
it
And let's
feels like
say
a
it's a big
box."
enough room that there's he'll just say, well, I feel a carpet. All right, that's okay. And then I'll ask him, well, what else is? And I'll tell him like this. I'll say, I
So
see
how
five
does he know
things.
what? How does he know what a carpet look? I know. I hear what you're saying, but you're not explaining to me how you tell us a blind man how he can perceive the sensation or the scent of sight. I'm not saying that how you can.
He won't ever
Right.
have the sensation of
Thank
sight.
you.
He won't
Thank you.
experience it from, because you're
Thank
saying
you.
he won't
Thank you.
experience the
Right, he can't
sensation of
see.
sight.
He's
Okay.
blind.
However, I
Thank
can
you.
explain to him the
Right.
concept of sight.
So
I
let's
can
move
explain
forward
to him that
then.
it exists.
So
I
let's
can
move forward because you asked
okay.
me, yeah, you asked me to explain how did I know it was God, or how do I hear
Yeah.
God, or how did I
Yeah. How do
speak
you
to
know?
him?
Yeah.
Right?
How did you? Well, I
So,
asked you the method in
so,
which you verified that it was
right.
God speaking to you.
So
How did you
have
verify
a
that?
you have a sense that the blind man doesn't have, right?
Do I have a sense that the blind man
No,
doesn't
well you
have?
do.
No.
Sight,
Oh, yes. Yes,
sight,
I do. I have sight that he
right?
doesn't have.
So
Okay. So you're saying,
in order to go on,
go
go
ahead.
ahead, go
No,
ahead.
no, no. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Thank you. So in order to perceive God, God's a
Mhm.
spiritual being, you have to have an extra sense that most people don't have, because I tell you, if you had it, you wouldn't be on lives like this doing these silly.
Why would God give some people this extra sense and some others not the extra sense?
Okay, let's stop. Let's stop. Are there blind people that exist in the world
Yeah.
without sight?
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
So
yeah.
then,
Let's go back to my question though.
hold on. So slow down, slow
Hold
down,
on.
slow down. So
No,
you can admit that some
I just need you to
people.
answer my question.
Go ahead.
Why did God give some people this
Okay.
extra sense that you seem to have, and people like me not the extra sense?
Right. Okay.
Why
So
would God do that?
so can I answer? Can I answer?
Yeah,
You
I'm
genuinely
waiting
want
for
to
the
hear
answer.
it?
Yeah,
Because
I'm waiting for the
because
answer,
a
but you
lot
keep
of
asking questions, and so
the
that
times, but sometimes to get to the answer, you have to ask people a question because not everybody's on the same level. So to bring somebody up to a level, you have to feel out where they are so that they can
I'm a pretty
understand it.
decently smart guy. I think if you just explain it to
Well,
me, I'll understand
okay,
it, and then
let's try.
I can answer a
Let's try
follow up
then.
if I don't understand. Yeah, just
Let's
yeah.
try. But also, let's not, and I'll take it as well. Let's not interrupt and argue, because between Christians and atheists, sometimes,
Mhm.
yeah, we're getting into like a silly argument. But if we just say your point, and if you say your point, I'll let you finish, and vice versa, I think it's better for the listeners. Would you agree?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, you know, that's true. Now, Sambo in the chat says, if you doubt God is real, ask him for a sign to prove he is real. Do you agree with that? Should we ask for a sign
Yeah.
that God is real?
Yeah, so I can answer your questions that you asked me. You asked me about 3, and you know, if you want to move on to Sambo's question, that's fine. It's your chat. I'm ready to go with your flow. It's up to
Okay.
you, but I can
All right. Yeah.
I can go back to why does God give some people, you know, I can go back to that, whatever you want.
Would you say that that would prove that God exists if we asked for a sign and God gave
Right.
us a sign?
I would say yeah, that proves it. Definitely.
Oh, well, there. I think we've just hit the jackpot. We can just prove it right now.
Right. So should we
I
prove
have
it?
an idea. Yeah. Okay.
Prove
So
it.
I have bad eyesight. See, I'm wearing glasses right now. I think that if you prayed for me to get 20/20 vision right now, that would demonstrate it right now.
Okay.
Why don't we do that?
So you don't understand how it works, but I don't know if you're going to allow me to explain to give you some understanding, because it's clear that you don't understand.
Sure.
So
I'll let you explain, and then I'll show you why I think that's
Okay,
I
that's
think
fine.
that
Thank
we
you.
should be able to pray for me right now to have eyesight. But
Right,
go ahead.
okay.
Yeah, I'll
Well,
hear your
so
explanation, and I'll get my
are we
evidence
answering-
ready while you do that.
Are we answering the question that you just asked me, because you've asked me 3 questions before I've been able to answer any of them? So now I've got to come back to this answer. Which one am I answering now, if you don't mind?
Yeah. Let's do this one. What Sambo said, that if I ask God for a
Right.
sign and God
Okay.
gives us a sign, that would prove that God is real. And so I
Okay,
think
so
oh
basically,
God, I'm having a real hard time seeing. So I'm going to try my
okay.
best to do this while you're doing that. So forgive me, chat.
Okay, so
Okay, go
so
ahead.
basically, I'll just say this: we can see that there's evidence out there that some people have clearer use of their senses and some people don't. This gentleman's just demonstrated it. Some people have 40/40 vision and some people can't see anything. Some people can't, they're completely blind. Some people need thick glasses so they can see. So we can see God gives us all the ability to have senses, but some people have different degrees of being able to use their senses. That's been agreed, right? That's fact. If
Yeah,
people
different
have
degrees of
different degrees,
senses, but
right?
they
There
work
you
for the
go.
most part.
So,
They work mostly the same way. Like for example, like if we both touch something, you know, we'll both feel it,
no,
right? Like if you
no,
and I touch a
no, wait, slow
glass,
down,
we'll
slow
touch it,
down.
we'll feel a glass.
Because
Well, that's sensory, right?
because because a blind man who's completely blind is on the other end of the spectrum. He can't see.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean he doesn't have, he's just, whatever it is, maybe I don't know how blindness works. If it's the back of the eye hasn't connected properly, I don't know what it is. He's still got the mechanics to be able, he's still got the apparatus to be able to see. A lot of them have eyes, but
Hmm.
the apparatus is broken, right? And he hasn't
Yeah.
got the money to go and get eye surgery. Right,
Hmm.
so he's blind. Doesn't mean that God didn't give him the ability nor the apparatus to see. So, if I can finish my sentence, most people. This is why we've got the satanic ruling class at the moment, because most people are not in touch with their sense enough to be able to deal with God on the spiritual level. Most people have been dumbed down by abuse, by drugs, by curses that's been put on their families. So let's now go back to you and the fact that you need glasses and you want me to pray you out of your blindness, right? Basically, the reason why you have blindness is you've been affected by some kind of demonic entity that's restricting your thing. So if you want to do that, you need to stop being lazy and go and exercise the demon,
Now,
and you will
let me
see again.
okay, now let me ask you a question. So now I've been affected by some type of demonic enemy, right?
Yeah, you're sick.
Okay.
You're
And
sick,
so
and that's
I'm
always
sick.
demonic.
Okay. And so is that why everybody loses their eyesight? Is that we eventually
Yeah,
are afflicted
mostly.
by demons? Yeah, because
Any
everybody loses their
affliction,
eyesight.
any
Everybody.
affliction is demonic. Any
Yeah.
affliction is demonic.
Any affliction is demonic. So then
Age is demonic.
Okay, so 100% of us are afflicted by demons at some point.
Well, age is demonic. That's the point of being
Yeah,
human.
we all get old,
So
right?
let me say that. Let me
So
say
we're
this.
all
Trust. Do
well.
you
No,
realize?
well, what I need to hear is from you is because I need clarification here. Are you saying that at some point in our lives, every human who has ever existed is afflicted by demons?
So you're completely unaware of what's going on around you. You don't know why you're
Well,
here or what you're
I'm trying to
doing.
understand what you're saying because you're saying age is demonic, right? Getting old
So
is
you don't
demonic.
know what's going on. You have no idea. You've
All
got
right.
no. You're spiritually bankrupt. You have no idea of
I
what's
still
going
need you
on.
to hear my. I still need you to answer my question. So, is it true that when we grow old, that's demonic forces doing
But
that?
I'm just shocked. I'm shocked that you're answering that, because that it's like, do you really not know? Do you really not know the answer to that question? Are you being genuine?
Yeah, I'm being
Or
genuine.
are you mocking
I don't
me?
believe demons exist. So
Okay.
what? So that's why I'm
Well,
asking you. I'm genuinely asking
okay.
you. Are we afflicted by demonic forces when we get old?
You're in a fallen state. You are. You're
We're in a
afflicted by
fallen
demonic
state.
forces.
Okay,
Yeah,
we're in a
yeah.
fallen state. Gotcha. Okay, and who created the demons?
Who created the demons?
Yeah,
Demons are basically on the degree of creation.
are they on? I don't know what that means. Who
So
created
that's
the?
like saying who created darkness? Darkness is just a lack of light. Demon is a
Okay,
lack of soul, a lack of
so
spirit, a lack
where
of
did the
soul.
demons come from?
Well, basically, do you want me to go into it? Do
Well,
you
I'm
really want
asking
me
you.
to
Well,
know?
because you're saying they're. I don't quite understand what that means. Like, did they just come out of nowhere? Did they just pop into existence out of nothing? Like, how were they? How did they come to be? How did they start
I'm
to
gonna
exist?
I'm gonna try and say it in less than 20 seconds, right? But God made creation, it was good. There was the enemy, he tempted people to fall. When they fell, he flooded the earth. Their spirits, or lack thereof, is trapped in the spiritual world. That's a demon. The demons are the things that can't go back into eternity. So what we're here doing as humans, we're trying to get back into eternity, but we don't want to go to hell, which God has created for the ones that are no
Okay.
good, the rubbish that can't go back to heaven, which is good.
Okay. I still didn't hear an answer to my question. Where do they come from?
I just told you they were the fallen angels.
They're fallen angels, and who created those
The spirit,
angels?
the spirits of God created the angels,
God
but
created the angels. Okay.
they rebelled.
So ultimately, God created the demons, right?
Well, they rebelled, so they're rubbish. They're going in the lake of fire.
Yeah. Now
It's
is
like,
God all?
you know, have you
Hold
ever
on.
cooked,
Hold on.
have you
Is
ever
God
baked
all?
a cake and then
Hold
you've
on.
thrown it away because it didn't come out right?
Yeah.
That's what it's like.
Is God all
That's
knowing?
it. Yeah, of course he is.
Okay. Oh, we got jellyfish. Got to let you go, Catherine. But hey, appreciate you coming up. All right. So, thank you. That was just in time because I was starting to get a headache. I was still waiting for the prayer to fix my eyesight, and we just never kind of got there, right? Just never got there. So, man, I was thinking today might be the day that I could see, like 20/20 vision. Today that I do, but apparently we are all afflicted by demons. So, yeah, still not really clear on that. I do like the word rubbish. Yeah, she did have a delightful accent, didn't she? Yeah, she was delightful. You can give me a spiritual loan for my spiritual bankruptcy? Wow, that is. I didn't know you could loan out spiritual stuff. All right. Well, that was interesting. Okay. Well, let's bring up. Okay. So if you are in my queue, I got 8 of you waiting on the TikTok side. Let's see how many I got waiting on the YouTube side. Let's see how many people are here. Okay. Nobody waiting on the YouTube side. But if you're waiting on the TikTok side, you have to be at least 18. You must believe in the God of the Bible, the Torah, or the Quran. And please have evidence ready. Start with that. That God is real. All right. And thank you to the mods. Aaliyah the Goddess, thank you for the glowing jellyfish. Wow. Squidgy Mushroom sent 11 roses. Westside Jazz sent a heart me. Thank you. Thayu sent a heart me as well. 3 pips with the heart me as well. Alta Leftist. It cuts off the names. I just kind of up the Alta Leftist Trade sent a rose. Thank you. Aaliyah the Godless also sent a heart me, and Godless Engineer with the mini star. Thank you. Slice 78 with the heart me. Jake with the Go Popular and the heart me. QT with the heart me. QUEUETEA. Tiny Science with the Go Popular. $3.6 pencils with the heart me, and Holly with the Go Popular and the heart me. Queen Laquifa, thank you with the heart me. Zeno the Padre, thank you with the heart me. Peg the Patriarchy, thank you for the heart me. And Chris the Humanist. I did thank Chris the Humanist earlier today, but I'll thank him again. And welcome to the guests on the YouTube side. So just an FYI, what you saw there was a jellyfish. So that was an immediate removal of the guest. And it works both ways. Like on TikTok, you can just send a $10 super chat. Also, what you can do is if you meet the live goal, which is 25, let's cook, let him cook. 25 of those will invoke an early kick pull, and then a $5 super chat. So that's how this works. Okay, so I simply control the process. I don't control the outcome. And we have a quick announcement for everybody.
Hello.
How are you?
Oh my goodness, I'm good. I just got here. I did not realize that you were live this early.
Yes, I did, because I have a doctor's appointment that I need to take my daughter to today. So
Oh, got it. That makes sense.
Early. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, welcome everyone to Trust But Verifies Live. We have 260 people in here, which is amazing. So happy to have all of you in here. Please send your daily heart me's. Please like the live. We're at 14.2K likes. If we could get up to 25K real quick. We only have 10 shares right now. I know we can do better than that. So please share out the live to those you like, those you don't like, and all of those in between. So then let's see, just make sure that you are following him on all the platforms, including YTube and the Twitch app. It's Trust But Verified 2024. We do have a Discord. It's open to everyone. We have a lot of discussions in there about different topics. Just go to the link in his bio to find that. You'll have to copy and paste it into your browser, and then you'll be able to join the server. Go ahead and continue tapping, sharing, repost the live, just long press on the screen. And as Tress said earlier, which I missed it, but there was a jellyfish. And so, yeah, that is a way to go ahead and get rid of the guest if you want to move on. And then you can also do that on YTube with a super chat. You can also contribute to the live goal, which will trigger a kick poll for all of us to vote on whether or not to move on to the next guest. So, rules for the chat. I see people using caps, no caps lock, no spamming, no preaching, no unsolicited prayers. Please do not pray for people who do not ask for it. And yeah, don't be rude. Just common decency. Let's all respect each other in the chat and all of that. So yeah, again, welcome to Trust But Verifies Live. We're happy to see you guys.
And thank you. And everyone give Ember a hand, please. W's, hands, all that stuff. Yay! Jazz hands for Ember. Thank you so
Woo,
much.
jazz
Appreciate
hands.
you.
Okay, I'll drop.
Alrighty. All right. They are fantastic. Okay, let's move on to the next guest. All right. How's it going?
Oh, hey, I didn't realize it came up. I just wanted to tell you, since you were asking about demons, if you want an actual factual biography on how to learn where demons come from, there's a fantabulous game called Diablo. It's
Oh, yeah.
actually nonfiction,
I played
very
Diablo.
factual.
It's real.
Just then you should know where demons come from. It's, you know, it's just like the book. It's all science, all
It's
real,
science? All real.
all real, all science,
Got
all
it.
facts.
Okay.
So
got it.
I was just going to recommend that because it
Alright.
answers all your questions about where
Okay.
demons come from.
Okay. Well, hey, I appreciate that. Thanks for coming up and
Yeah.
recommending that.
You're
All right.
welcome. No, you're welcome.
All right. So we have a new membership. We have a new member, Truth666-I6F. So welcome as a supporter. Appreciate you coming aboard. You are one of the trustees now. I think I'm going to change it to trustees. Yeah. So the game Diablo is a factual source for demons. Now, I'd be curious to know how Blizzard did their research on that, you know? Like, did they do a pentagram, like a circle, you know? That'd be interesting to find out. I should probably reach out to them one day and see how they did that. That'd be interesting. All right. So let's go to the next guest. Let's see. How about this one? How's it going?
Hello, how you doing?
Doing well. Are you at least 18?
Yes,
All right. And which God do you believe in?
I believe in the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Moses.
Okay. All right. What's your best evidence that this God is real?
Well, my best evidence is if I ask for something
Okay.
and my God is the only person I ask for it and I receive it.
Okay.
That's evidence.
Okay. So then that means that every religion is true then, right? Because Hindus ask for stuff and they receive it.
No, I
So
don't.
that
I
means
don't believe
Hinduism
in
is true?
religion. Religion is man-made. I don't.
Yeah,
believe in
but we
religion.
have believers in every God, every type of God, right? So
The Hindu God is not the same as my God.
okay.
I don't know when.
So-
I don't know what happens when a Hindu God asks for something. I don't know nothing about that, so I can't talk
Okay.
about that.
So but they're real, right?
Who's real?
The Hindu gods. Because
I don't
as I
know
said,
that. I don't know
people
that. I
pray to
can't say
Hindu
what's
gods
real.
and then they receive
They
things
do,
just like
but
you do.
I don't know. I can't talk about the Hindu God if I don't know nothing about that God.
Well, what I'm saying though is that they're getting the same exact result as you. So that means that they're real. Right? You would have to
That I
acknowledge
don't.
that.
Well, I'm
You would have
saying
to
I'm
agree, right?
acknowledging. I'm just acknowledging it. I don't agree. I'm just acknowledging it because you're telling me it, so it's giving me knowledge. But I don't know that for a fact.
You don't know
I
that for a
don't. I
fact
don't
that
get.
they
Nah, I don't get into the Hinduism.
Well, I'm trusting
so
what you say because that's my name, Trust But Verify. I'm trusting that you pray to your God and you get things in return. And so why wouldn't
no,
I
I'm
trust?
saying I'm
I
just
mean, are you
saying
telling me the
asked me.
truth?
I'm just telling you. You asked me a question and I
Yeah.
answered it. I
Yeah,
said
but
the
are
best
you telling the
evidence.
truth that you get things from your God when you pray? Is that true?
I didn't say. I said I got certain things. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
So you
Yeah,
get things from your God, and that tells you that your God is real,
right.
right? Okay. So they get things from their God, which means that their God is real, right? I mean, it's pretty simple, right?
Like I said, I'm just you giving me knowledge that I don't know. But the only way I would have evidence of that is if I pray to their God to see if I get it.
Well, let's do that right now.
Just like no, I can't pray in Hinduism. I don't know that.
Why not?
I don't know Hinduism.
That's okay. You
I
just
know
need
nothing
the name of
about
a
it.
God, right? If I just give you the name of a
Nah,
God and you pray to it, then and if you
nah,
got
you
something,
can't
then
just
that would demonstrate that that God is real, right?
no. You got to pray to the God that you know.
Why?
Because that's the God that you that's like if I don't know you, what's the likely of me asking you for something if I don't know you?
Should we introduce you to those gods so you can get to know them?
No.
Like, is there like a period of time that you have to like acclimate or acquaint yourself with this God? Like, is it like how long?
I'm always acquainted with it.
How long were you like getting to know this God before you asked for something?
I was getting to know like on a serious matter. I want to say maybe no. It was there's times like this is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Just hear me out. See, I'm just speaking for myself. I can't speak for the world. But there's times that you got your older people that says when you in trouble or you going through something, the first thing they always tell you is pray to God.
Okay.
Right? This is the older generation. Oh, pray to God. Take it to God. Take it to God. Take it to God. So, we learn to do that through our ancestors. But there was times that I did that and it never worked. I felt like it never worked.
Why do you think God did that?
What I learned, because I didn't get to know him.
So because you didn't know him well enough, he just ignored you?
Right. Well, who knows if he ignored me, but I'm saying I didn't know him well enough to get to ask him for something serious.
What did he say? Did he say to you? Well, hold on. I just have a clarifying question, real quick. Did he say to you at some point, "Hey, 9 to 5, fresh God, I don't know you that well, so like, who is you?"
He never said. He never said nothing to me.
Was it like that? He never said. So he did ignore you. He didn't say anything to you. He didn't respond.
No,
he didn't tell you, "Hey, I can't
ignore you."
Yeah, he ignored
like
you.
He could direct you. He could
because
direct
he said,
you.
Well, here's the thing. You said that he didn't answer my prayer because I didn't know him, so he just kind of ignored you, right? It's kind of like when you get a text message from a number you don't know. A lot of time, like when I get a text message from a number I don't know, I don't respond. I just ignore it, right? It was something like that, right? So he didn't know, he effectively didn't know your phone number.
If I say to God,
and he got your text message, and he said, "I don't know who this is, man, so I'm just gonna ignore it."
If I say to the God that I didn't know, and I said, "God, I this guy, he really messes with me every day. He picks on me every day. Can you just kill him for me? Just get rid of him for me. You know what I mean? Get rid of him because I can't stand him. He's beating on my mom or whatever. He's beating on my mom. He's a terrible. Like, get rid of him, right?"
Yeah, he wouldn't do that.
Now
he didn't do that for you.
Let me just finish.
All
now,
right.
I'm asking an entity something that I don't know nothing about. I don't know nothing about him. I don't even know if he moves like that. You see what I'm saying? So if I like you, I'm just meeting you today. So if I ask you, listen, man, let's get in the car and let's go ride on these fools.
All right.
And if I don't know you, you're gonna be like, "Yo, I ain't into that, bro."
Like, who is you?
Yeah,
exactly.
Kids and stuff.
I'd be like, who is you? Yeah, who are you?
Right,
yeah,
right. You know what I'm saying? But if I knew you, I'll be like, "Nah, you know what? Let's go out to eat and let's have a nice time." And I could do that. You see what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying.
How did you become to acquaint yourself? Like, how did you get into like meet God, or how did you all become?
I got
like
once
known to each other?
I feel like when I was at my at my lowest point, right?
Uh-huh.
So now, like you say you're an atheist, I say, boom, I was an atheist, right? So
I don't
now
think you were a
I'm
real
gonna tell.
atheist, though.
Nah, I could say this.
No,
I
I
could
don't
say
think you were
this.
really
I'm gonna tell you exactly what I asked God when I was at my lowest point. I said, all my life, people has been directing me to you, right? Always telling me to go to you, take it up to you, take it up to you. I said, I'm at my lowest point right now.
Okay.
I'm going to study. I'm going to research. I'm going to dedicate all my life to you now. And if I feel like if I feel like you're not existent anymore, like if I feel like all of them ancestries and all these things they're telling me it's not real, then I'm done. I'm just gonna do me. I'm gonna just be
Okay.
who I want to be. You
Okay.
know what I'm saying?
So you were at your lowest point, and then
Right.
you said, if you're real, get me out of this low point that I'm at, this lowest point that I'm at.
No, I said, if you're real, reveal yourself to me.
Reveal yourself to, and then he revealed himself. He waited until you were like down and out, you fell off at your lowest point, about to just fall off and head into the right over the cliff. That's when God
Right.
showed up for you, like right in the nick of
Exactly.
time. Okay, so let me ask you this: why would you suppose that God showed up for you in this way and doesn't show up for the 600,000 people a year who get raped? Why doesn't he show up for them? Because you'd agree that's a pretty low point, right?
That's definitely a low point.
Yeah, it's definitely a low point.
But
Now it's probably safe to say you weren't getting raped when he showed up for you, right?
No, yeah, I wasn't getting raped.
Okay. But these people will all get raped. 600,000 people
Now-
a year. And if you do that by day, I mean, shit. You know what? Let's hang on a second. Let's just see how many per day that is. So 600,000 divided by 365. That's 1,643.83 rapes per day. And so over 1,600 people get raped every day. And God doesn't do anything for them, but he had enough time to come help you out, right?
I'll say this, and this is through my research of learning God and figuring out the truth about it all. A lot of times, it ain't God that's doing it to you.
It's not
blame
God doing it
for a
to
lot
you.
of things.
Yeah.
Nah, it's not. It's
Okay.
not.
Okay. But
Like if you I'll give you a quick example.
I can't hear you. Brother. You're kind of too far away. You got to get closer so I can hear you.
Like, all right, like if I give you a good example of Job, the book of Job.
Yeah.
Like he was going through some stuff, and he didn't curse God. He didn't curse God, but at the end of the day, it wasn't God that was doing it to him. It was Satan.
Okay. It was
So-
Satan doing that. But
Right.
God allowed
God
it. Right?
allowed it. He allowed it. Yeah,
Why did God allow it in Job's case?
because God always checks your integrity.
Was it that, or was it a bet?
It wasn't a bet. God don't need the
Yeah, it
bet.
was a
God
bet.
don't need nobody for no. No, hold on. God don't need nobody for nothing. He
Well,
don't
no,
need
there
to
was
bet nothing.
Well, have you read the story of Job? Because there was a council, right? And then Satan showed up as
I read it. Trust me.
yeah, you
I
read it,
studied
and so
I didn't just read it. I studied it.
Okay, so what was the reason then that? Because there was a specific thing that that was challenged to God, right? That Job was that they were looking for somebody faithful, and that they were going to test this person, right? Yeah. I mean, I've read it too.
Well, if you go by the counts, that's what Satan does. He has an account on everybody. He comes back to Father, and he gives a report to the Father of how we are. That's why
Gives a
Satan
report to
said,
the Father, so they're working together.
yeah, that's what he
He's
did.
working.
If you look
So
at- if
Satan's
you-
working for God.
He's not Satan. God created Satan.
Yeah, God created Satan, so Satan's working for God.
He's an evil spirit.
He's an evil
He goes
spirit, but he's
listen, God created
is he?
that
Well,
spirit
let me
to
ask
go
you:
against-
is he working for God though? Because if he's reporting to God, that means he's working for God.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you want to
So
say
God's his
working
boss.
or whatever.
All right.
God's
And so
everybody's boss.
he's doing what God commands him to do, right? Because he's reporting to God.
Yes, he has to. He has to.
He has to. So he has to do what God commands, and he's
Yes.
reporting to God. So he's like, he's like an evil data analyst, right? He's drumming up reports
Yes.
and submitting these
Yes.
reports to God. Okay.
Yes.
Got it. And so what I'm trying to understand then is why then, so you're saying that it's Satan that's causing 600,000 people to be raped 1,643 people to be raped every day. That's Satan doing that.
Well, yeah, that's the spirit of Satan. You
That's the
gotta know
spirit of
that,
Satan.
'cause God-
Got it.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yes.
And could God stop Satan from doing that?
God could do whatever he wants.
He could do whatever he wants. So he could stop
Right.
Satan from doing that, but he doesn't. He just watches Satan let people get raped, cause people to get raped.
Well, Satan is a spirit. So the person that's raping the person has something to do with it too.
Okay.
Because it ain't the
Yeah.
spirit that's raping the person. It's the spirit that's in the person that's
Yeah.
causing the rape.
Now, do you think the victim wants to be raped? Do they
I don't
wake
think
up one
nobody
day and
wants to
saying,
be
you know,
raped.
I
Yeah, I
really
don't-
hope
yeah,
I
I
get
don't
raped
think-
today. I really hope that
Yeah, I
happens.
don't think nobody wants to. Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
think
nobody
wants to
like
get
I
raped.
don't want to get raped, and and it sounds
Right,
like you don't
right.
want to get raped, right?
Right,
But people
yeah, right.
still get raped. So what I'm
Right.
trying to understand then is if people don't want to get raped, how come God doesn't respect that and just says, okay, you won't get raped today? Like why not just let the people who want to be raped be raped?
See, because my Father, he loves all of us, so he gives us free choice of will to do what we want.
Yeah,
He
and so
also
what I'm
gives you
saying is
he gives wait. So he gives everybody a way out. He gives everybody
Okay.
a way out.
okay.
So,
So
at the end of the
for
day,
the people who get
we're
raped,
blaming like right now we're
Well-
trying to blame God. Hold on, let me.
well, no, I
finish my
can't
point.
blame
This is what
something
we
I don't
do.
believe exists. I'm
Hold on. All
what
right,
I'm
but
doing is
I'm
I'm
just
trying to
saying, if I
understand
go off of-
why it's
if I go off your
because it sounds like
dialect-
nonsense to me. So what I'm asking you though is because if the person doesn't choose to be raped, right? You would say that's free will.
Right, that's everybody
Okay.
has that.
Okay, so if the person has free will and doesn't want to be raped, how is it that they are using their free will when they are raped?
All right, let me give you an example. Let's say a 10-year-old girl is walking from the store, right? She don't want to be raped. She just
Nope.
wanted to go get ice cream and come
Yep.
home. Correct?
Yeah, I don't think she had
Now
it in
you
her
got-
mind that was going to
Right,
happen.
right,
Yeah, I
exactly.
agree with that.
Right.
100%.
So now, but God loves her, right? God loves everybody.
God loves her,
right?
so he's letting her
God
get
loves
raped.
no, listen. God loves, if it was up to God, God said, y'all all be with me, all of y'all.
Yeah.
All of y'all will be with me, right?
Okay.
So now, but he gives us free will,
Yeah.
right? So there's two entities that we could follow. We could follow
Uh-huh.
good or we could follow evil.
Yeah.
We know what good is. We know what good is because good is God.
Yeah.
And we know what evil is because evil is Satan.
Mm-hmm.
But he gives us all free will to choose.
Okay. So it's all
So
free
now the
will to
10-year-old girl,
choose.
so it's free
Okay.
will to choose.
Yeah.
So now the 10-year-old girl that's walking from the store, minding her business, she shouldn't be touched at all. Correct?
And she's choosing not to be
No,
raped.
no.
Right?
Us. But listen.
She didn't
If I
choose
see a
rape.
10-year-old,
Right?
if I see a 10-year-old girl walking from the store, going home,
Yeah.
in my eyes, she should be make home safely. Right?
I agree 100%.
Right. So now that's me. I'm choosing that. Now, the other person may not feel that way.
Yeah.
They might feel this is a victim that I could get.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Right.
So
Okay.
wait. So now that girl walks past 10,000s of people every day and never gets raped. Never. But you'll never see nobody saying God protected that girl 10,000 times. They'll never say that. They'll never say the
Right.
10,000 times she walked from the house to her house to get
Okay.
ice cream, she
Hold on.
always made it safe. But
Okay.
wait, let me finish.
Hold on.
Let me just
Okay.
finish my
Well,
point.
I just need you to land the plane over when the girl when the girl's free will comes
the
into play.
girl, the girl free will, like
Yeah.
we not talking about her free will. We talking about the person that raped her.
Well, that's
Because
my
it's
question:
for the person to get
aren't we?
raped, that
But
means the
why aren't
person
we
has to
talking
rape
about her
you.
free will? Why doesn't God recognize her free will? Because she just wants to get ice cream, right? She didn't say, I want ice cream and to be raped, I just want ice cream. I want to go to the store and back without being raped. But God doesn't pay attention to her free will, right? Because she chose.
You can't say God didn't pay attention to her.
Okay, but why is it her free will taking into account?
God watches over everybody. So at the end of the day,
okay, so he watched her get raped.
So let me ask you a question. Do you think that there's ever been people that's been raped and learned from it and became greater people and taught people and helped people?
Sure, they have. Now, does that mean that everybody? So hold on. I got a question for you, though.
Right.
So, are you saying then that in order to learn something, we all need to be raped?
No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that God could turn something. Listen, God could turn something bad into good.
Yeah.
Like me, I grew up homeless. I grew up in system. I grew up, my mom got killed when I was 8 years old.
Yeah.
I never knew my dad. And my whole life, I looked at the world like it was bad.
Yeah.
Right?
I would understand that.
So, but at the end of the day, God,
I would probably think the same thing.
God would help me realize, even though all of that things that you've been through, all of them bad things I just named, because nobody should be able to go through that. And there was times I blamed God for that.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people do. So I blame God for that. Like, oh, why you took my mom? Why me? But at the end of the day, he turned all of that into good, because once he finally let me understand.
We got another jellyfish. I got to let you go 9 to 5. All right. Have a good day. All right. So I think where I wanted to go with this, because we never really addressed the little girl's free will, right? The 10-year-old girl's free will. We never got to that. I was trying to really steer him to that, because I think this is the problem, is that nobody ever talks about the little girl's free will, right? Nobody ever does. Like, they're always talking about the perpetrator's free will, but never ever the victim's free will, because I don't know of any of the 600,000 victims who wanted this. I'm not aware of one single survivor of rape who said, deep down, I really wanted this. I'm not aware of that. And that's the thing we're not really addressing, is why doesn't the survivor's free will matter? So maybe we'll get that answer from one of our other guests, because we got 2 waiting. And again, if you are in the guest queue, please be at least 18, a believer of the God of the Bible, Torah, or the Quran, and have evidence that God is real. And of course, everybody keep tapping that screen for those likes, and also keep sharing it out, because we had 287 here. That's fantastic on the TikTok side, and we have 35 on the YouTube side. That's fantastic as well. So you guys are all fantastic people. So I'm glad you're all here. But let's keep sharing it out, and let's just keep getting those numbers going, and we can continue to have these good discussions until, for the next hour and a half. So let's reset the clock, and let's get on to our next guest. All right. So let's go to this one here. We'll bring up our next guest. How's it going?
What's up, man? How are you?
I'm doing well. Are you at least 18?
Yes, sir. I'm 21.
Okay. And which God do you believe in?
Hashem.
Hashem?
Yes, Jewish.
Okay. God of the Torah. Got it. All right. What's your best evidence that this God is real?
I just got a quick question for you, because every atheist I know believes in aliens. Do you believe in aliens?
In a way, yeah. Not seeing why that's relevant, but what's your evidence?
Every atheist I've talked to is always just believes in aliens. So I was just like curious if I could find one that doesn't.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
All right. Well, hey, appreciate you coming up.
Absolutely.
All right. So that was quick. I guess doing a survey on alien beliefs among atheists, that's an interesting endeavor. Interesting. So, all right. Let's go to the next guest. How's it going?
Going well.
All right, good to hear.
Doing well.
And
Yeah.
you got an echo. I can hear myself echoing. Can you
Okay, well, I'm gonna
fix
take
that?
you off speaker then. Yeah,
Okay.
let me see if I take you off the speaker.
Yes, you're getting a little me in the daytime, Pokagurumi. Yes, getting me in the daytime. All right.
All right, can you hear me now?
I can hear you and I don't hear me, so that's great. All right, thank you for doing that. And okay, we said you're at least 18. And which God do you believe in?
The Bible, God of
Okay.
the Bible.
All right, fantastic. All right, what's your best evidence that this God is real?
Best evidence is you and me and everything else that exists on this planet, because you know, we can't do the things that God has done. We can't make. You know, I believe in science. I'm a science guy too. Okay, so I love science, and but we had to be able to understand science. We didn't just something that just naturally. We had to
Sure.
learn.
Yeah,
And-
I
and-
agree with that on a certain level. But what I'm trying to understand is then if your best evidence is you and me and everything around us, and science explains most of that, if not all of it.
Most,
So
but
how
not
can
all
we
of it.
have most of it, but not all of it, right? Like we have scientific evidence of why you and I are here, right? It's our parents and then their parents and their parents and their parents, right? We
Right.
have we have scientific evidence of abiogenesis. We have scientific evidence of evolution through natural selection adaptation. We have scientific evidence of the laws of physics, but none of that points to God in any way, shape, or form. So how is the evidence that we're here demonstrative of a God?
Because everything that you just talked about, it had to start from somewhere. So even
It had to
even
start from somewhere.
yeah,
And-
somebody had to create it. It's just like anything that you do. Every action there's an equal and opposite reaction.
Mhm.
You have to do something, had to do that. So
Okay.
the evolution, something had to create the evolution. Something had to create everything.
Okay,
And
so what created God then?
what created God?
Yeah, because you said everything has a start, right? So that includes
Mhm.
God, right? So God had a start. Who created God, or what created God?
God created God.
God created himself?
Yeah.
Okay, how? How does a being
Oh
create
well,
itself?
see now there you go. That's a good question. How? Because we got a lot of hows in here, and there's a lot of hows, and the
Well,
thing is,
that's just nonsensical. How
Well-
does a being create itself? Because then that means that this God came
God's
from
not
nothing.
a being. God's not a being. He's
God's
not a being. No, he's not a being. No.
Okay. What is God then? Because being means, so does God occupy space?
No.
He
Not
doesn't
really.
occupy
Not
space.
not physical space like you and I. No.
He doesn't occupy any type of, well, space is just space. There is not really a physical space. It's just space, right?
Well, no, I
not
don't
really
believe in that.
physical.
No, it's not. No. There's space. There's even thought, things that you think about, that occupies space. That's a space, but it's not physical space, but it is space. So space is not just what you just said there. That's not true.
What space does thoughts occupy?
It doesn't occupy physical space like you and I do. You can put a lot of thoughts into an elevator, but you can't put a lot of humans in that same elevator.
Right, but what does it occupy then?
It occupies a different type of space. That was my point. My point is it occupies a different type of space.
What space does it occupy? That's what I'm asking. What kind of space does it occupy?
Well, it's I don't know. I will
don't
say I
know?
don't know what that space is, but I know it.
Well, it's a
exists.
product of the mind, right? And so do we have thoughts without minds?
Do we have thoughts without minds? I would say, well, okay, that's a tricky one because I'm thinking I don't know as far as my soul, right? I think I have a soul, and I think that soul may have thoughts, but I don't know because I'm not there yet. I'm physically on this planet, so
Okay. So what I'm trying to understand then. So God doesn't occupy any space. And does God have a mind? Has to have a mind, right?
no, because you're
No?
trying to relate God to a human presence, right? To a human form, and
Okay.
you're saying things that humans have and God doesn't have the same things that humans have. So you can't
Okay.
really relate to him as a human.
So this is becoming more incoherent because how did God create anything without a mind?
You don't need a mind. Why do you think you have to have a mind?
Because everything that we know about our reality
does a tree have a
dictates that
mind?
to create something you need a mind. Like when you bake
Does
a
a-
cake,
does
you
a
need
tree-
a mind
does
to
a
bake
tree-
a cake, right?
Does a tree have a mind?
No.
Okay, but it makes
doesn't
acorns. It creates
yeah, it
acorns.
produces acorns. It doesn't create them.
They're created. I mean, you can call it produce or whatever. It's just semantics. But yes, you create.
Yeah, that's part of a process though. But it doesn't. It's
That's
it's
right.
part
It
of
is a part of a process. I agree. It is part of a
Yeah,
process.
but is it intentionally creating these acorns?
That's a good question. I don't know. I'd have to.
Because
I don't know.
because I think. But so now, are you saying then that God didn't created this without intent, this entire existence?
Probably it may have happened without intent, or it may have happened with intent. I don't know. I don't know God like that, and I don't think anybody really does. And I don't think anybody has all of the answers. But we got to admit that this stuff, this is not accident, man. This is just not. This is not a accidental thing here with all of
science
the.
agrees with you. Yeah, it's not an accident.
Right. So something had to create it. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, the laws of physics created it.
What created the laws of physics? What created the laws of physics?
They've always been. They're eternal, just like the universe. That's the evidence that we have.
What do you mean if it's always been? No, it hadn't. So are you saying everything has always been then?
I didn't say
Is
everything.
everything
I said the universe and the laws of physics, right? So like what are the basic elements of the universe? Time, space, energy, right? So we have to have those three things to have a universe, right? And we have evidence that those three things have always existed, right? You said you're a science guy, and we have. So you would agree
right.
we have evidence that those three things have always existed. They're eternal.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Fantastic.
So
okay. So if that's the case,
that sounds like God.
Time, space, and energy.
And the physics you even talked about.
Okay. So how so? I mean, if you want to, because that's like Spinoza's
Because if you
God,
say
I
physics,
guess,
if you
but
say
that's
if you
not
say
that's not the
physics,
God of the Bible.
well, okay. So I'm a I'm a PK. Grew up Baptist and all and that sort of thing. Okay, but technically, and my dad was he was into the Baptist thing, but technically, I believe that's there is a God now. So when you ask me that which one, that's why I said the Bible. But really, I just believe there is a God, and because this didn't happen by accident. Now, okay, I can go in the Bible and I can tell you all kind of things that I just do not believe. Okay, but I can go in just about any of those books and tell you about things that I just don't believe. Okay, but so when I say the Bible, I just say the Bible, the God of Bible, because that's where I grew up. But technically, I just believe there is a God. There is something. There is a greater being that is out here that did all of this, that made all of this, that created all of this.
You earlier said God is a being.
I know. I said being. You got me there. Okay, you got me there.
So God is a being. All right.
Maybe I misspoke. Maybe I misspoke.
All right. Beings have minds.
Okay.
I'm just trying to help make sense of this. It's because it's just not making a lot of sense for me. That's why I'm trying to flesh it out.
For somebody that doesn't believe that there is a higher power out here that made all of this, that doesn't make sense to me either.
Okay. So then in that sense, so like when we have like the formation of planets, that was a result of gravity, right? And then we also have evidence that gravity's always existed, right? Thanks to Einstein. Yeah. So gravity, time, space, energy. We've got four elements of the universe, and the universe is a manifold, and it's part of the quantum wave function. And if, according to quantum mechanics, you can calculate the probability of a particle, the superposition of a particle at any point in time and space, right? So that means that time and space have to exist eternally in order to do that. And as a result, we're using quantum mechanics to talk to each other right now, right? The phone that you have in your hand.
No, I get that.
Yeah, all that. So we've demonstrated that quantum mechanics works. We demonstrated that time and time and time again. So we have a lot of evidence and empirical evidence that the universe is eternal. So what evidence do you have that there is a God that's, well, like, according to you,
Well,
was created, that somehow created itself?
well, just like anything else, eternal. What is eternal? You're saying it's eternal, like
Always,
like it.
always existing.
What? How can something always exist?
I just told you. We just
It
demonstrated it.
can't always. No, it can't always. It can't have always existed. It had to at some point be created.
Well, then
Just
how?
like this phone I
Okay.
got in my hand.
So
You
so
know, it
quantum
didn't
mechanics
always
is wrong?
exist. No, I'm not saying quantum mechanics is wrong,
Well,
but what
but
I
that's
am
what quantum
saying,
mechanics says.
okay,
So
well, then it's wrong because everything
yeah,
cannot, it could not have
so
always existed. It
wow.
cannot have always existed. You
Quantum
can't have
mechanics
something that
is
has
wrong.
always existed.
Can't have something that always, and why?
Right.
What's your evidence? Like, what's the reason?
Well,
Like,
I'm
okay,
not
let me
saying-
let me ask it this way. Here's a different, better way to ask it. What's your evidence that the universe came into existence? Like, what evidence do you have?
well, the evidence that I had that the universe came into existence is here. I don't need evidence. I can look. I can see it's
But
here.
that's the same evidence for it being eternal. It's here.
No. I'm here too, but I'm not eternal. That's a different
Right.
evidence.
Right.
That
But
that
it's
doesn't make
here,
sense.
and
That
the
doesn't make
elements
sense.
the elements that make up the universe have always existed. Like the four elements that I just went over, right?
It's always existed as far as you know.
Well, as far
As
as
far as
quantum
man
mechanics is concerned,
Yeah, but how far back does that go, my friend? See, this is the thing you got to
any point in
understand.
time and space, any point
No,
in the past, present, or future, any point.
no, because no, it can't. Because first of all,
You just keep saying
humans,
it can't,
hu-
and you just keep saying
no,
it just
and I'm gonna
has to
tell
be
you
this
why.
way.
Because humans
Yeah.
haven't existed. Humans have not existed for eternity.
I'm not talking about humans. I'm talking about the
Well,
universe.
the only way that quantum mechanics came into the play is because of humans.
Well, yeah, we discovered it.
Exactly, we discovered it, but we weren't always here. So we can only go back to as far as what we know. Just
Okay.
like anything else, any statistic that you pick up, you only can go back as far as it has been recorded.
Okay, so God doesn't exist then because you haven't gone all the way far back to determine that God created things. So God doesn't exist. You weren't there for that, because that's what you're implying, is that we have to be there to determine that it's, because we have to be eternal in order to know that the universe is eternal. So that means you have to be present when God created everything to know that
No,
God
I don't have to
created
be. I don't. No. Just like we know that quantum mechanics
That's a
exists
double
today.
standard.
No, it's not. Just like we know that quantum mechanics exists today, we know that God exists today. That doesn't mean we have to go. We have to go back. That's the same thing.
But wait, you just said that you have to, in order to know that something's eternal, you have to be eternal. That's what
Well,
you just said.
well, yeah, because you said that everything is eternal and quantum mechanics is eternal, but you can't prove that it's eternal because we weren't here. When it was created.
Okay, so then you can't prove that God exists. It's the same standard.
Well, okay, all right. Can I prove God exists? No. Can you prove quantum mechanics exists? No.
Yes.
No, but not if you say it's eternal. You can't because you don't.
Well,
you,
quantum
well,
mechanics
okay.
itself isn't eternal. It's that time, space, energy, and gravity are eternal.
Okay, gotcha. Do you know that was the case? That gravity is eternal.
According to Einstein's theory, yes.
Okay, well,
General
Einstein was
relativity.
created. I get that, but Einstein
Yeah, and
was
we've demonstrated general relativity in multiple ways, right? You'd agree with
right.
that. Okay,
Yeah.
so then why would that piece that gravity's eternal be wrong? Like, what part of that tells you it's wrong?
Because we weren't here when there was nothing to cause gravity.
Okay, and so
we could have been gravity.
why do we have to
existed.
be here in order to know things are true? Because it's not the same. It's a double standard that you have, because you're saying, well, I don't need to do that for my God, but you have to do that to demonstrate that something's eternal.
Well, because God, because God is all knowing, and you're just a mortal man.
Right.
So
and how do you know God's all knowing? Like, what's your evidence of that?
Well, just like I said, all of the things that quantum mechanics, even that. I mean, it was created
That's
by
just
God.
presupposing that God had something to do with that. But what's your evidence that He created quantum mechanics? You're just kind of asserting it. You're not giving me any, because that's like a claim stack on top of a claim, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like if I say to you,
I get that.
I have
get
an
that.
invisible fire breathing dragon, right?
Yeah, I get that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then you now you wouldn't just believe me that I have an invisible fire breathing dragon in my house, right?
No, you'd have to give me some kind of evidence for sure.
Yes, exactly. And now if I just said because there are books on dragons, is that good enough for you? You're gonna be like, okay, there must be a dragon in your house. Okay, so you would need some type of evidence, like to demonstrate that this particular invisible fire breathing dragon lives in my house. Okay, and so it's not enough for me to just say, well, look around. That's your evidence right there. Look around my house. Now, and you see burn spots on the floor. You see, burn spots on the floor. You see, bones of like little animals scattered around on the floor.
Right. I see
things
things I see things that a human could have done and staged that, right?
Yeah.
But humans can't do the things, that I'm talking about. Humans cannot create other humans. Okay. Humans cannot create other humans other than by natural birth and all of that business. I'm just saying. I can't just go out and build me a human. Right?
I would say my mom would have some words with you.
Right. I got you. I know I got to watch when you're dealing with debate artists like you guys, you got to watch everything you say. And
So what I'm hearing then is you're saying that we can't just create humans without the natural process.
Right.
That I agree with.
Mm-hmm.
That's still not evidence for God. Our limitations aren't evidence of a God. That's not evidence of a God.
Right. No, I get that. Just like those burn marks that you put in your house, I know you could have done that.
Evidence of a dragon. Yeah, it could have been. Could have been anything, right? That's just not evidence, right? Or if you smell sulfur in my house, that still doesn't mean that there's an invisible fire breathing dragon in my house, right?
It doesn't.
Yeah, and it's because it's extraordinary evidence, right? It's an extraordinary thing because you don't come across dragons every day, so there needs to be extraordinary evidence, right?
Right.
And so that's what I mean is that what you're telling me is that, well, just because of creation, well, that's not really extraordinary because we know creation is here. We know things are here. We know things exist, and we have explanations for those already.
No, you don't have explanations for everything. No, you don't. You do not.
Almost everything.
Because you don't. Okay, well, almost doesn't cut it because that little gap that you got right there, that's where God comes into play.
Okay, so you familiar with the fallacy God of the gaps?
No, I'm not.
Okay, so what that is that when we have gaps in our knowledge, then we plug God in there. So like we don't know why everything came to be, therefore there must be a God. That's an example of God of the gaps. That's a fallacy. You might even also call it an argument from ignorance. Sometimes it's begging the question.
No, you can't really say it's a fallacy. No, you can't say it's a fallacy. You can't say that's a fallacy
because the thing is that you're filling in the gap between.
I'm filling in the gap right with God. I got that. But you don't know.
And you're saying because God did it. But see, the thing is you don't have evidence that this God exists. You're just saying, well,
you don't have
we don't know
evidence
everything.
that God didn't fill that gap.
Right. And that's the thing. I'm
because
not
that's why
required to do that. Well, see, this is the thing. I'm not required to do that, right? Like if I say to you, look, I got presents under my tree this year because of Santa Claus. That's an example of filling in the gaps, right? And if I say that to you, does that mean Santa Claus exists?
Well, no, because I don't believe in Santa Claus. But if you tell me
so then if I said to you, free agent, now you have to prove that Santa Claus didn't put those presents under my tree. Does that make sense?
That I have to prove that Santa Claus did not.
Yeah, because if I tell you Santa Claus put presents under my tree, you say, well,
right,
I believe in Santa Claus.
Right, I got you.
And then I'm going to say, okay, then tell me how them presents got there then. That doesn't make sense, right? That makes no sense.
Not necessarily because, no, it does make sense because guess what? Okay. Maybe Santa Claus did put them under your tree. Okay.
Then how would you go about demonstrating that Santa Claus didn't put them under my tree?
I mean, all I could do is maybe spend the night at your house. I don't know where you live, but I might not want to be there. But anyway, I'd have to spend the night in your house in
a comfortable guest room. Like everybody who stayed in my guest room is pretty comfortable. And
well, no, I'd have to be there by the chimney.
I make mean pancakes.
I'd have to be by the fireplace, man. I'd have to be by the fireplace.
I make really good buttermilk pancakes. I mean, I mean, you're kind of underestimating that you wouldn't have a good time on my house.
I'm just teasing. You probably have to make those cookies though, just so we can draw Santa into the place. But but anyway, that's what I'd have to do. But you know, I couldn't prove that Santa did not put those under the tree, just like you can't prove the gaps that God didn't fill those gaps.
Okay, so
that doesn't mean it. That don't. So
yeah.
so what I'm getting back to is that's not a fallacy. Just because you said because you can't prove it, that doesn't mean it's
called
a
the God of the Gaps fallacy. Yeah, it's not a matter of proof. It's about saying, well, I don't know how this happened, therefore I'm going to put what I can't prove to exist in there to explain why something is. And so what you have to do, and what you're doing is you're avoiding the fact that you're not demonstrating that this God exists, which is the whole point of the exercise, right? And so you're kind of shifting to, well, because we don't know these things, then a God must have done it. Well, that's the thing. You have to demonstrate that the God exists first. And so you're pivoting, you're shifting. So you're getting away from what I'm asking you to demonstrate. That's why it's a fallacy.
But see, the thing is, the question is to basically prove that God exists, but you can't prove that God doesn't exist.
That again, it's the burden of proof isn't on me, right? Like it's the same thing as me saying to you, prove Santa Claus doesn't exist. You just said you can't do it.
Right, and you can't prove that God doesn't exist.
Right, and I'm not saying that I can prove that God doesn't exist.
Okay,
I have evidence that God doesn't exist, but I never said that I could prove it.
Well, I mean, what kind of evidence do you have?
Well, number one, quantum mechanics. We just went over that.
But God created that.
Yeah, what's your evidence of that?
What's your evidence that he didn't?
Let's not do an answer question with a question.
No, again, because that's what you're saying. You're saying you have evidence, but you don't.
Yeah,
but you don't have evidence.
Claim is yours.
You don't have evidence. No, I'm saying you don't have evidence.
Okay, but again, you have to. The person who says God did it is the one who has the burden of proof, right? Just like if you go into a court, right, and you're accused of murder, right, free agent, who has the burden of proof?
That's just laws, man. That's burden of proof.
Let's not dodge a question. Who has the burden of proof?
In the United States, the person that is making the accusation has a burden of proof.
That's correct. Yes, the person who
in the United States,
the accuser is the one who has the burden of proof.
What accusation comes
right.
from? Right.
Okay. So what I'm saying to you then is that's just how basic logic works, right? It's kind of the same thing. Like if you run across somebody who believes in Bigfoot and you say, well, I don't believe it. I mean, it's pretty simple. Like it'd just be the same thing as me saying to you, prove that I don't have an invisible fire breathing dragon in my house. You have to prove it. You see what I mean? That doesn't make sense.
It does make sense to me because, like I said, your argument is that God doesn't exist. My argument is he does exist. So neither one.
My argument is I don't believe God exists. I don't believe you. Wait a minute. Okay.
When you say
God exists, I say I don't believe you.
I got you. Belief is a different thing. Belief is a different thing altogether.
Yeah, I don't believe you.
You can believe anything. You can believe you have a fire breathing dragon in your house. So belief is a whole different thing altogether.
Yeah. So we go from belief to truth, right? We go from belief to something that's true, right? And so so you say you believe that God is real, and I say I don't believe you, and I say what is your evidence? That's what this whole exercise is about. So you don't turn to me and just say, well, you need to prove that he's not real. Well, that's not how this works. Okay. I don't need to prove something is not real in order for me to believe it's not real, right?
I got you. Well, then I should have just told you I believe he's real, but I don't need to prove to you that I believe he's real because I do. You know, I mean,
all right. Well, yeah, we could have saved 24 minutes. Yes, we could have.
No, but it was really good talking to you though, for real. It was really a good conversation, man. We chopped it up without going crazy because I know somebody.
Yeah, I don't believe in getting,
right. Nah,
upset and personal and all that. Yeah, it can be adversarial without being,
absolutely. Yeah. Well, hey, my man, go ahead and get the next guest on up. I appreciate it. It was good talking with you, dude.
All right, well, have a good day. Appreciate you coming up.
Bye.
All right. So yeah, the person making the claim has the burden of proof. That's just how things work. It's just basic logic. Just how things work. So it's not up to the person who doesn't believe to prove that they don't believe. Can I ask, what do atheists think happens when the body passes away? Well, I think that it just decomposes into nothing, and that's it. Lights go out, consciousness fades, ends, and that's it. So, because that's what we have evidence of, right? All right. So we've got 9 people waiting in the guest queue. So if you are waiting in the guest queue, please be at least 18. That's TikTok terms of service. Oh, and 2 on the YouTube side. So I think we'll probably take somebody from YouTube. But same thing with YouTube as well. We're going to follow TikTok terms of service. You have to be at least 18. And then for everybody, must believe in either the God of the Bible, the Torah, or the Quran. And please also have evidence that God is real. All right. So we'll bring up the next guest here. I think I can just unmute. I think the way I changed my settings. Let's see. We're going to bring up Fro from the YouTube side. Let's see. Okay. I think we can do it. Okay, Fro, can you hear it? Okay, it sounds like we can't hear you. So let me try and address that real quick. But let me check and make sure that you picked some audio settings, because if you went in with like defaults or whatever, sometimes it will not work correctly. So let's see if that. Okay, can you say something now?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I think we can hear you, Fro. Okay, fantastic. All right, thanks for waiting. And
no problem. What is your name, sir?
It's Trust.
Trust?
Mhm.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
I'm Fro, and I'm from Norway, by the way.
Okay, and
Mhm.
Fro, are you at least 18 years old?
Yeah, long time ago.
Okay, fantastic. All right.
Yeah,
And which
sadly.
God do you believe
I
in?
wish I could go back.
Yeah. Well, I think at some
Don't
ways
we
we
all?
all do, but all right.
Yeah.
Well, which God do you believe in?
I believe in the God of the Bible.
All right. Okay.
Can I run a fun argument for you for once?
Sure. Yeah. What do you have?
Have you heard about the human stupidity argument?
The human stupidity argument. I don't think I
Yes.
have. Maybe I have in some
Okay.
form, but maybe not the way it's named here. But yeah, go ahead. Let's
Okay,
hear it.
so humans are fragile, emotional, and irrational creatures. Would you
Okay.
agree to that?
In some ways, yeah. I
And
wouldn't
yet
say
we are
ultimately.
still here.
Yeah, we're still
Right.
here. Mhm.
Yeah. So we survived. We owned our bad decision. We owned our egos. We owned our inventions. Sorry. And we own our stupidity. Statistically, we should have wiped ourselves out several times already, and yet here we are.
Okay.
So it's either divine mercy or the luckiest accident in the universe. How do you
Is
feel
it-
about that argument?
Is it just only 2 reasons? Might it also be that we have just managed to outpace, procreating with killing ourselves?
I mean,
Because I think of
Sure.
lemmings, right? Like, because lemmings,
yeah.
they'll just follow each other off a cliff, right? And so like mass numbers of lemmings will just off themselves. Yet
Yeah.
we still have lemmings, right? Because you'd think by that they would just unalive themselves to extinction, but they don't do that. We still have lemmings here. So
But
it's
do
kind
you,
of the
do
same
you
thing.
think? Well, kind of.
Mhm.
I-
They just
I
managed
think-
to make more lemmings than they can kill themselves.
But I would say on a human level, we created the atom bomb. We created weapons of mass destruction.
Mhm.
That we've been. Could you at least admit that we have been extremely lucky in that we have not self-destroyed ourselves?
Yeah, in that sense, I would say that. Yet, I would also
Yeah.
say that you don't see mass instances of weapons of mass destruction being deployed. Like it doesn't happen in every country every day.
No, I
we've
agree
only
with that.
yeah, we've only seen a nuclear bomb detonated in war twice, right? Only twice. and that was the same.
Sure,
war.
but we also have
run it as a
accidents
test.
like in Russia where we had the nuclear accident. What,
Okay.
is it
Well,
Chernobyl
I mean,
I'm thinking of?
sure.
Yeah, Chernobyl comes to mind.
Okay, well, sure. I can say that we've done stupid things, but we've done very innovative things as well, right? We've done very
I would
innovative
agree with
things,
that.
and yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess how does this relate to evidence that God is real?
I just think that the like I said, it's either divine mercy or the luckiest accident in the universe, and I think it's divine mercy. I just think that I have read the Bible, and it says that we're supposed to live now, and it seems like we're doing the darnest to try to kill ourselves. I'm not going to try to go political, but I mean, you voted for an orange man monkey.
Oh, I didn't vote for that person. More people than me.
Okay, I'm just going to say America. Okay, America voted for an orange monkey.
Oh,
with
I
a trigger
agree with you.
happening.
That was a very stupid thing to do. I have no, and
so it seems like we're trying to we're actively trying. Well, some of us are actively trying to destroy this planet. Would you agree to that?
Oh yeah, for sure. And
Yeah.
and I would say
So
would say that theists are right at the forefront of that, because they believe in
I don't
the
disagree.
rapture and all that stuff, and they don't really care because they have someplace else to go, so they don't really care what
I'm
happens.
sure you have heard of Harold Camping. Do you know who Harold Camping is?
No, I don't know.
Okay, he's a guy that has said the end of the earth will come at least 5 or 6 times. People like sold everything to. So I'm not going to sit here and say that every theological person do the right things. I'm not one of those Christians that go and say that every Christian does the right thing.
Now, let me ask you a question, Fro.
Mhm.
Because
That's
I
me.
think what you're saying is that because we're so dumb and we're like intent on destroying ourselves, that this God, that it's divine intervention that's keeping us alive and existing here. And so would you say then that God is like doing the bare minimum, because we also have things like we have 600,000 rapes per year. And I think that's just in the United States, but we have 600,000 rapes per year in the United States. We have
as a Christian, I was listening to the Deconstruction Zone the other day, and he mentioned one of the reasons why he doesn't believe in God is because of kids with cancer.
That's a big reason too. Yeah.
Yeah,
Kids with
and
cancer, kids
that
born
really
with,
hits my heart.
yeah,
like
yeah. Kids born with defects.
As a theist, that really hits me hard.
Yeah. So it hits me hard too.
course.
So then what I'm trying to understand then is, why would God, do this bare minimum just to keep us alive, only to allow kids with cancer to be born, only to allow, 600,000 rapes per year, only to allow kids born with defects that they have no choice in the matter of. So
Do you know, truth? My honest answer to that is I don't know,
that's a fair answer.
and I hate that I don't know.
Okay. All right. Well, that's a fair answer. And so, see, the thing
I
is
really
that
don't know.
in a non-believers framework, and under like laws of physics, evolution through natural selection, adaptation, things like kids with cancer, things like kids born with disabilities, that's totally completely expected, because we have mutations, right? We have mutations, and so that's perfectly explainable. And it's a sad fact, but it sucks. But it's a totally, it's an explanation. But see, the problem
As an atheist, I am on this show. I am sure you have heard 10,000 arguments. Is there an
a lot of the
argument
same one.
that? Yeah, is there? I'm sure.
It's really
That's why I tried. That's why I tried with a fun argument.
Okay.
I was trying to come with some arguments that you haven't heard 10,000 times.
I got
Is
you.
there an argument that you find more convincing than others?
I don't honestly. I don't really find. I think they're all bad arguments, but I'd say the best out of the bad ones would be some versions of the fine tuning argument.
Yeah, because I was just going to go there.
Okay.
It is funny that you bring that up.
Yeah.
I-
Well, it's still a bad argument though.
Yeah. What about the argument from desire?
Argument
that
from
C.S.
desire.
Lewis-
What's that one?
Yeah. So even natural desires compares to something real. So hunger, food exists, thirst, water exists, loneliness, companionship exists. But human often have this deeper longing, something like desire for ultimate meaning, for ultimate transcendence. So Lewis argued that maybe that desire compares to something real as well.
Okay. So then in that sense, if you take it from that perspective, so if I hear what you're saying, I'm going to try and steel man it real quick. You're saying because we have these other desires, like desire for food, desire for sex, desire for sleep, desire for, etc. And all these we have fulfillments for these desires. I think that's what I'm hearing. So then if we have this desire for higher purpose and meaning, then God fills that desire. Would that be fair to say? Okay.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, then I'm not aware. Well, I mean, there are people who do starve to death, right? There are people who die of thirst. But what I'm trying to understand is, for the most part, that leads to death, and I'm not in a place.
Could we agree that life leads to death? Being born leads to death?
Because we have a finite existence, right? So
we all die.
Yeah, we all die at some time.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to say is that for the most part, I would say for the vast majority, I'd say over 99% of the people who exist, if they hunger, they are fed, they get food. And the problem is that there are a sizable number of people who have this desire for purpose and meaning and don't get filled with that answer. Now, I will tell you though that I do agree with you that there is a desire for purpose and meaning. But I'm not going to sit here and say that I don't have any purpose and meaning. I lack that. I'm actually full of that. I have multiple purposes. So
I believe that atheists can have that. I have never said that atheists can't have that.
Well, how was I able then to fulfill my purpose without a God?
I think it's personal desire.
Personal desire. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So then no God is needed for that, right?
I think that the atheists can work out a plan without God. I'm not saying that isn't possible.
Okay.
I'm just saying that it's maybe not optimal.
All right. Well, okay. So then what's not optimal about it then?
Because it doesn't follow God's desire for you.
It doesn't follow his desire for me. Okay.
No.
So, all right. And then what is God's desire for me?
That you will be his child and be his servant and live a life in Jesus Christ. I know that.
Slavery.
Slavery.
That's what it is. All right. So
I
need to be a slave.
I'm kind of.
And that would fulfill my higher purpose, and I'd be happy being a slave to God.
I'm happy.
Well, that's great for you. I don't think I would be happy being a slave. I got a bad, my family has a bad history with slavery. So
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I don't
Isn't that funny that a white Norwegian guy calls you from Norway and said, "Hey, you should become a slave again."
Yeah. And so it's not surprising that I wouldn't take well to that, right?
No,
yeah, it's
I'm
not
joking.
just a no, it's a fuck no, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I know you're joking, but yeah. So,
but
that doesn't move.
Would you say that you're a hard atheist?
I'm an agnostic atheist. I don't know what a hard atheist means. It just means I don't
A
know
hard atheist
100% that a God
don't
exists, but I don't
don't believe in God, but think it's not ever possible.
No, I think it's an extremely slim remote possibility. Extremely.
Could it
extremely
be?
slim.
Could it be a? Could it be a God that you haven't heard of?
It could be, yeah, sure. Could be.
Yeah.
But see, that's the thing is that then that opens the possibility for you too, right? It could be a God that
Yeah.
you've never heard of, right? So
Do you like universalism?
not really, not particularly. Ultimately it's incoherent. Because if it's any, it's like it could
Do you
be
mind
any,
explaining why?
any of these gods could be this God. It still runs into the problem of evil, because then if this God is still all loving, it just depends on which flavor of universalism you fall into. But if it's the universalism of, there is this creator God, it still hasn't explained the purpose of this God. And if it's to be a slave for him, to worship him, okay, why? For what point? For what reason? It still doesn't really explain it.
Right. I personally am not a universalist. I just thought I would ask you. I think I have a very, what I would call maybe a special flavor of Christianity.
Special flavor? Okay.
I'm so special.
All right. And what is that for? What is that?
I'm so special. Yeah, no, I think that here's what I think. I think I don't think that God is evil, right?
You don't think that God is
So-
evil? Okay.
No, I don't think
Alright.
God is evil.
Okay.
So if you desire to be with him and live in heaven forever, just don't believe that he will deny you that wish.
Okay. Well, that's a nice sentiment. Now,
Yeah.
okay, so let me kind of parse this out about God not being evil, right? And so I'm going to pretend for a minute, like you do, that God exists. All right? I'm just going to pretend for a minute. So if we pretend that this God exists, we see a lot of suffering in the world. Would you agree with that?
Oh, definitely.
How much of that suffering, like, just give me a percentage. How much of that suffering would you say on a percentage basis is necessary? Like, just give me a number. Like, a scale of 1 to 100. What percentage is necessary? Like, we have to have it. Oh,
I'm going to go pretty low.
Pretty low?
Think I would think around
coupons
like
flowing out there. Sorry, go ahead.
20 to 30% maybe.
20 to 30% is necessary.
Yeah.
And then, so that means 70 to 80% is unnecessary.
Yeah, that is things we create for ourselves. Yeah.
Just things we create for ourselves. Okay.
Yeah.
So would you say then that animal suffering, is that in the 20%, 20 to 30%, or is that in the 70 to 80%, all animal suffering?
All animal suffering, that is definitely in.
The which one? The unnecessary or necessary?
In the necessary, because we need
Necessary.
food.
We need
Yeah.
food. Okay.
Yeah.
And so then what about animals that die in forest fires where lightning causes the forest fire? Is that necessary?
No.
Okay. I agree. Not necessary. Animals getting eaten alive by prey. Or predators, excuse me. Prey getting eaten alive by predators. Not necessary.
I would say that is necessary.
Is necessary. So
Yes.
what's the necessity of prey being eaten alive instead of just instantly being killed?
Why doesn't a tiger have a gun? Is that what you're asking?
No. Because there are many.
Maybe I'm not understanding your
Well,
question.
there are many instances, like a tiger, for example, can instantly kill its prey, right?
Yeah.
But there are times in which a tiger doesn't instantly kill its prey, and it begins to eat the prey before it dies. Now, you would agree
Yes.
that's suffering, right?
Yes.
So that's what I'm trying to understand. What's the necessity of that?
I think the necessity of that is. That is a good question. I don't know.
Okay. So then, if that's the case, if we don't know whether or not that's necessary, it's probably safe to say it's not necessary, right? Like we don't, because like you don't.
I think
sound,
it's, I think it comes down. Maybe this is a stupid answer. I don't know, but it just popped into my head.
all right.
Maybe it's a part. Like I hate using the Lion King as a standard of thing, but maybe it's a part of the circle of life.
Circle of
Circle of
life.
life.
Okay, so we'll just say it's a circle of life. Well, see, that's the thing. If we go back to my framework, that makes a lot of sense because I definitely think it's a circle of life.
Yeah.
See, the problem though is that if these animals that were created by God, right? Ultimately, I think from your framework, they were created by God.
Yeah.
And so what is their purpose other than, and if their purpose is to say, feed us, right? Well, we should be able to feed off of them without them suffering like extra, right? We don't torture our animals before killing them to eat them, right? We do it. Oh, kick pole coupon. Okay. Gotcha, Jessica. All right. So there are, just to let you know, Fro, there are people who bought early kick poles, like they met the live goals and whatnot. And then but it was in between guests. And so they were granted coupons. So there has been somebody who said, I want to use my coupon. So that's what they said in chat. So we're going to start that, but we can keep talking while we do that. So my question to you though is, what would you think of a person like a person who lets animals suffer unnecessarily before, killing them and eating them?
I think they have a special little good place in hell. How about that?
Okay. So then we have God then, because we have animals that die in forest fires started by lightning, and this God could save those animals. So then this God is just watching these animals die.
I'm not going to say that I understand it. I don't. I wish I had an answer for you, Truth, but I really don't.
That's fair.
I just think that I think I don't know how much honesty you meet in Christianity, but I try to be an honest Christian as far as I can.
Well,
and I don't have an answer for you for all of those questions. I really don't.
Okay. Well,
may I? Can I ask you?
Yeah, go ahead. Because we got. This will be the last question. So go ahead, because they have voted to move on.
Okay. What is your stand on abortion?
My stand on abortion is that whichever way causes the least harm is the correct and moral choice. And I would say over 99% of the cases, it is to abort the fetus. And also, my opinion doesn't fucking matter because I'm a male and it is a woman's right to choose. So we should take my opinions with an extremely like the tiniest grain of salt that you could find. Take that and then cut that in half about, 200 times. And that's what my opinion is worth on this matter.
Okay. Anyway, I'm going to let you kick me out. Right. It was very nice talking to you.
It was nice talking to you as well. I appreciate the time.
I will come back another day.
Yeah, come back another day. That sounds good.
Yeah.
All right. Take care, Fro.
Bye.
Appreciate you. Bye. All right. That was Fro. Okay. So we'll go back to the TikTok queue and bring up another guest. But see, that's the thing is animal suffering is undefeated. Just got to say. No explanation for it. And if there's no explanation for unnecessary suffering, then you can't call this God good. It's just the bottom line. So it's just a belief without evidence. So it's faith. All right, let's bring up our next guest. How's it going? Hello? And I'm having a hard time hearing you, Raheem. So if you could, maybe up your levels or something. Switch out a mic. turn off a mic, turn on a mic, something. But I'm having a hard time hearing you. You there, Raheem?
Yes.
Okay, there we are. All right, Raheem. Welcome and thanks for waiting. Are you at least 18?
Oh, 3 times over.
Okay, all right. And just if you could speak up a little bit louder for me, that would be great. I'm having a hard time hearing you.
Sure.
All right.
Sure.
Which God do you
Ask
believe
your
in? The
question.
God of the Bible, the God of the Torah, or the God of Quran?
There's only one God, man. And that's the one who says, I am. That's the one who's the Father or the creator of Jacob, Joseph, John. You know what I'm saying? That's the only creator. There's only one creator. There's no other creator. Regardless of what anybody say or do or however they think, there's one creator.
All right. Which
I
book
always
does
want
this
to ask-
creator like the best?
Huh?
Which book does this creator like the best?
Okay, let me explain to you my belief system. The Bible, the Quran, the Torah all come from God, one creator. So I study them all. And I truly believe, and if I had time I can prove it, that they are one book. They are one book
They
came
are
different
one book.
times. And
Okay.
one
Okay.
book,
Are they
one solid book.
so the Bible and the
I'm
Quran,
talking
are
about
they
the original. I'm
are
talking
they
about the
both true?
original. Yes, I'm talking about the original scriptures. I'm not talking about this watered down King James, and I'm not talking about those books. 'Cause those books are not Bibles.
Okay.
First of all, they're
So
not
you're talking
Bibles.
about the
The
original
Bible,
scriptures.
the original
Okay.
scriptures, like the one with Enoch. You know, the Gospel of Jezebel. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about the original scriptures. I'm not talking about something that the majority
All right.
Greek or whatever came in and decided these books not real. We're not going to accept it. I'm not talking about that. I'm
Okay.
talking about
I think we have a
the
BHI.
original scriptures.
Okay. All right. Are you a Hebrew Israelite by chance?
No,
Okay. Okay.
no.
All right.
I'm
What's
a
your best
Muslim.
evidence? Okay. You're a Muslim?
I'm a Muslim, and it's like any other Muslim you have met, because the Muslims that I associate with, we all believe in Christ.
All
Well,
right.
Yahshua. We all
Okay.
believe in him. We never, ever, ever could even fix our mouth or our
I
mind to
have
think
yet
that,
to run into a Muslim that didn't believe in Christ, actually, in Jesus
well,
as a
I hear it
prophet.
all the time. I hear, well, in my belief, Jesus is the word in the flesh. He's the anointed one. It's as simple as that. He's
All
the
right.
Messiah.
Justice
That's
for
what he is, the
Aisha.
Messiah.
All right. Sounds good. Justice
Yeah.
for Aisha.
So he's the
Okay.
Messiah. Now,
Now,
but
Raheem,
he's
what's your
not
best
God.
evidence that this God is real?
My life.
Your life?
My life.
Okay.
My life. I'm a
In
recovery. I
what
don't want
way?
to put this out just like this, but I gotta put this out just for you to understand me.
Okay.
Okay. I'm a recovered alcoholic, dope fiend, or whatever else you want to call it. I'm in
Congratulations.
recovery
That's
for a
that.
long
I'm
time.
just happy that you've been able to do that. I'm in recovery as well too. I just celebrated 13
I
years
appreciate
on
that.
the 13th.
I appreciate that. That's a
Yeah.
wonderful, wonderful thing. My experience is that when I went to this higher power and asked for his help and listened to me very well,
Mm-hmm.
and I cooperated. I gotta
Mm-hmm.
say it again. And I cooperated. Because a lot of times we go and we pray, we don't cooperate, and we wondering why our prayers not answered. They're not answered because I'm not cooperating. I
Okay.
gotta do my part. Right? I can't
Got
go and steal bad dope. I can't go and steal bad dope. I still can't be around people that use dope or sell dope and ask God, keep me clean. That's insane.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't make sense.
I hear
That's
you.
where the
I hear
free
you,
will,
Raheem.
that's where the
Okay.
free will comes from.
Let me ask you a question then. So if I'm hearing what you're saying that you asked for help from God and then you were willing to take the help and you became clean. I'm
Yeah.
hearing that. Am I hearing that right? Okay.
Yeah, you simplified it. You simplified it. Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
fantastic. All right. So I think I understand where you're coming from. Okay. So there's a couple ways I can go with this, but I'm going to leave myself out of the equation. All right. Cause that wasn't my experience at all. Right.
I understand. We all have different experiences. That
Sure.
goes without saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Agreed. So that's why I'm saying it doesn't, I'm not going to go that route because it doesn't really matter. What really matters more is what you're telling me. Now, here's the struggle that I have with this. Why is it then that God didn't take the time to help those who reached out and were willing to do the work the same as you? Because I have been in meetings for, many, many years.
Me
longer
too.
than 13 years, over 20 years. All right. So
Me too.
I've seen many people who
Come
did
and
the
go.
same thing,
Come and
asked
go.
for help, were willing to do the work, did the work, still relapsed.
Listen, now we are both intelligent men,
Mhm.
and we both have a certain amount of logic or common sense. And I'm willing to bet my life that at some point they did not cooperate, right?
Okay.
See, the thing about recovery on anything you're trying to do that you don't have the power to change, that you need outside help, you have to be able to cooperate. I'm talking
Okay.
about
So they got to
cooperate.
cooperate. So cooperation is the reason
Yes.
that God answers your
That's
prayers.
what anything that God does for you, you have to cooperate. You
Okay.
can't ask for help and then make the rules. You can't
Okay.
do that.
So now there are 600,000 people who are raped every year. A lot of them little kids, right? So how do little kids cooperate in order to have
Never
their
said
answers prayers
I never,
about?
I never said they cooperate. Let me explain that to you.
Well, you said in order to have prayers answered, you have to cooperate.
Yes.
So that's why I'm asking you, how do they cooperate then?
Let me explain some things to you.
Yeah.
There are some things that we as human beings would never understand. The way of God's thinking is not our way. That's the first thing
Okay.
we must keep up front. That we
Okay.
cannot say that because I'm human and I'm made in this image, I understand everything that he does and why he does or doesn't,
I
or
got
do or don't do. That's
Whoa.
just not true. We don't
Okay.
have the
Now let me ask you
capacity.
this then: is God always good?
Yes.
He's always good. Okay.
And the
And
reason
so,
why I say that is because when he exhort his strength, when he exhort his what I would call chastisement,
Mhm.
is something that's due. It's due. If I rob you and I go and get robbed and shot in the face, it was due. It was something that I started the process in how can I put it, in the universe by doing what I did.
okay.
Right? You have to
Okay.
understand we have a cause and effect that
Okay.
doesn't
So
ever stop.
gotcha. I understand. So in the so there are instances in which babies are sexually assaulted, right? And so what did they do in order, what was, because you said they were due, there's something that they
This
did.
why you have to understand
Yeah. So
scripture.
what did the babies do?
Let me answer your question, sir. A lot of times generational curses take effect in our
Okay.
lives.
So in that case,
Something
it's
we had,
generational curses.
excuse me, something we have nothing to do with. Our
Gotcha.
fathers or our grandfathers or whoever, we are paying for sins that they committed,
Mhm.
right? And this is the way it's set up. Now I can't answer why it's set up that way and is it fair and all that. I don't have answers for that, but I do know this: that
Gotcha.
there are such things as called generational curses,
Okay.
right? There's some things that my grandfather that I can do, and my grandkids will pay for it, and they don't even know what the hell I did. So it's not that simple. It's not so simple to where you say, okay, well, the baby did nothing. True. One thing I understand about the Lord is that He makes everything happen, or He allows it to happen. Now, why He allows it to happen, I don't have a clue. There's
You don't have
some
a clue.
things
You
that
don't
I
have an
truly.
answer for that. Okay.
I
So,
have an answer for anything you ask me. I don't have an answer for my own question. I don't have an
all
answer.
right.
I don't have an answer to this question.
Okay.
Why did that happen? The only thing I
Okay.
can think of is generation curses.
Okay.
Right?
Does God have
Something
the power to not let babies suffer?
Yeah, He has the power to do whatever He wants to do.
Okay.
But see,
Could
now I'm gonna
God
take you deeper.
then
Now you
wait
want
to let this
go
curse
ahead.
happen after a person becomes an adult?
Now let me explain something to you that you might not understand, or you might not want to understand, or you just might understand and don't agree. But understand this. And it's very, very simple, but it's very, very complicated at the same time. There are some things that happen to us in our lives that we have no control over at all,
Oh, totally
right?
agree
And
with
it
that.
seems
Yeah.
and it,
Totally
and
agree
and
with
it
that.
seems to be so unfair. But see, why by us not knowing what happens on the other side, right? I have a little bit, just a second of a bit of knowledge that I was given to by my parents and grandparents, and I never knew this until I was told this, that when you kill a person, right, and they don't have an opportunity to repent their sins before
Mhm.
they actually get murdered, all their sins go to you, right? There's
Okay.
some things that we don't understand on this side of the realm, right,
Okay.
that can answer any of those questions.
I
I
got you
have
right
to
here.
have the faith. I have to have
Okay.
the faith to know that God's a just God. He's an honest God.
He's a fair God. He's a gracious God. And sometimes that's as far as I can go with my
Okay,
intelligence
so
because
you
I'm
need
human.
you need to have the faith that he's honest, just, fair, loving, merciful, all that stuff. You need to have that faith.
All you gotta do is look at your own life. I
Okay.
mean, look at
Well,
maybe
well,
not
that's
teach
my
us to
point.
atheist.
Is that there are
I got a
some
question
people
for you.
who, well, I know not me, but I'm talking about there are some people who look. Well, I can even say that on my level. I mean, because I was sexually assaulted as a child, and so
Okay.
I'm trying to
Bro.
understand then from what you're telling me is that if this is a generational curse, I'm trying to understand from your perspective why a just, loving, merciful, etc. God would let children be hurt and suffer.
Now I'm gonna answer that with a question. And you're very intelligent, so you'll understand. I'm a baby, and I get raped, okay, and I go through life dealing with that situation, and then I come and I die, and I get before the Lord, right? And I'm told that if it wasn't for me going through that bad ordeal, which was called rape, that I wouldn't be in his presence and I wouldn't be with him in the heavens. And I'm like,
Okay.
why? How is that?
Wouldn't be in his presence.
Because of that very act that was so wrong against me,
Mm-hmm.
right? He bothers me into heaven because I'm an innocent child. I did not deserve that, right? But because the decisions I made in my life, probably to rob, steal, use drugs, and do whatever you do when you use drugs, and all those things, and all those people that I hurt, I probably couldn't get past that. If I had this one thing in my life that God had to forgive me for, and also understand that that has a lot to do with the way I act, the way I think, the way I move, right? It all averages out, bro. It all averages.
Okay.
It
all
right?
averages out. So if I'm hearing you right, you're saying that if this person gets raped and that's the only way they can stand before God and be in God's presence, it's good.
I didn't say it was the only way. I'm saying because it happened that way and it ended up that way, right? Then that in itself could very well push him across the finish line because he experienced something in his life that he did, like most of us.
All right.
He didn't deserve.
So let me hear you, Raheem. Let me hear you. So what you're saying then to me is you're saying that in some circumstances it's good to be raped. Is that what you're telling me?
No, I'm never saying that.
Okay.
This is what I'm saying. In some circumstances, whatever happened to you in your life that was wrong and that was bad and that caused you great harm, in the end will end up helping you.
Okay. So is it but that's ultimately good, right? So if God ultimately decides that he allows you to be raped, that's good. If God ultimately decides that's what you need, then that's good.
I wouldn't put it that way. The way you put it is you putting God has too much hands on that.
Well, does God allow it?
He definitely allows it. Everything that happens,
he allows it. So he have the power to stop it, right? So allowing okay, well, we got to start the early kick bowl. So I'll do this last question. So allowing,
I got a question for you though. I got a question.
You can ask me a question, but let me ask you this question real quick, and then I got to start the kick bowl because we hit the goal. Congrats,
but you gonna let me
hit the last goal. We got it. Yeah. I'll let you answer it. I'm gonna start the kick bowl. I'm gonna ask you this one question, and then you can ask me your question. Okay. So my question to you then is, are you? What I'm trying to hear then, what I'm hearing you say is that if God allows a child to be raped, it can be good.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying if God allows a child to be raped or murdered or whatever, it could benefit them in the time of judgment.
It can benefit them, so it's good. That's what I mean. That's what I'm
not saying that. The reason why I'm not saying it's good is because it causes pain and it causes hurt. So I can't say good, but I can say
you said it benefits them. Yeah, so it's ultimately it's a benefit.
Benefits doesn't mean good. Benefits, this is like when you go to work and you work 70 hours and they pay you less than what you think you deserve. It's good you got paid, but it's not good as you got underpaid.
Right.
So it's just
that's not good. I agree with that. That's not good. So it's not good when God allows someone to be raped.
I don't think it's on that scale. That's a human scale that God does not sit on. He sits above that. I heard you ask the question earlier about God's space and all that. God created space. And matter of fact, in the Quran, it says he told space to follow him. So no, God is not in the realm of his creation.
All right.
But let me ask this question.
Answer the question because you got about 30 seconds. So go ahead.
This is what I don't understand. you're an atheist and you don't believe in God,
Mm-hmm.
and I would rather say this: I would rather believe in God, get on the other side and find out that it's not a God, than not to believe in God and get on the other side and find out that it is.
Well, the reason being is because you have about 1 in 10,000 choices, because there's 10,000 gods out there, and so far nobody has.
No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. See, that's what
Well,
you can prove.
but see,
that.
that's the thing.
There's
is-
one God.
Okay, but
See,
you haven't
people don't make
demonstrated
God.
that. That's the problem.
People don't make God. People do not make God. God make people.
Right.
See, that's what people get confused at.
Well, that's the
People- it
the
ain't
problem.
no-
That's just a claim. So, hey, listen,
See, that's-
Raheem, I heard you
okay.
answer your question, but I do got to move on to the next guest. But hey,
All
I
right,
appreciate you coming
man.
up. All
Thank
right.
you.
Yeah, gotcha. Have a good day. If I can, there we go. If I can make these buttons work. Come on. There we go. There we go. Come on. Make the button work. There we go. All right. Ugh. TikTok Live Studio takes forever sometimes for just you click a button and then it just sits there. Just ridiculous. So, thanks for hitting live go, everybody. And there it is. Yeah. So that's the thing is we don't have an explanation for why God, and you know what? Great that God helped Raheem, but God just helped Raheem and didn't have time to help anybody else. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Doesn't make sense. All right, let's go back to let's see, is there somebody in the YouTube queue still? Yes, there is. Okay, let's go back to the YouTube queue. So we have Mac T. We might have talked to Matt T before, but let's find out. All right, Mac, how you doing?
Hey, Trust, doing good. How are you?
Doing well.
No, this is my first time calling. I haven't talked before.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for waiting. All right.
Of course.
Appreciate the wait. So we have to follow TikTok terms of service. So are you at least 18?
Yes.
Okay. And which God do you believe in?
I am a Christian. I believe in Jesus Christ.
Okay. All right. And what's your best evidence that this God exists?
Well, I don't really want to start with my God because, and the reason I don't want to do that is because, first off, I think you have to get to if God even exists in general, not necessarily the one that I believe exists.
Okay.
Right.
All
So
right.
I'd like to start correct and any God. Right. So I'd like to start with. I've been listening for probably the past hour and a half. I've been on the YouTube for the past hour. I was on TikTok first. That was a mess over there, so it was easier for me to hop over here. We talked about the morals a lot. We talked about morals quite a bit, especially that last guy talking about why he tried to say that rape was good at some point. I think that's what he was trying to explain. That was really weird. But it did bring up a good point that I thought of, saying that what would be the reason that our morals, right? If you're an atheist, what would be the reason that your morals are good in comparison to somebody else who believes that rape is a good thing, for example?
Laws of logic.
Okay, can you say a little more?
Yeah, because I believe in the principle of generic consistency, which means that that morals apply to everybody without exception, right? And so if that is the case, and if we use the laws of logic, you're familiar with the laws of logic are?
No, actually. I mean, I think let's just go over them. Let's just go over them.
Yeah, I'll pop it up on my screen real quick, and this will kind of help to illustrate. So right above my head, those are the 3 laws of logic, right? And so I'm going to focus specifically on the second one, the law of non-contradiction. And so when I look at the principle of generic consistency, what that basically says is that we use the laws of logic as a foundation to identify that we are all entitled to freedom and well-being. Now, you can use free will in exchange for freedom. I mean, they're pretty much interchangeable in this sense, but we are all entitled to freedom and well-being. So if I assert that I am entitled to freedom and well-being, but at the same time I take away somebody's freedom and well-being by maybe I steal from them, I unalive them, I rape them, something like that, I have broken the law of non-contradiction, because I'm saying that I have the right to freedom and well-being, but you don't have the right to freedom and well-being. That's a contradiction.
Well,
And that's
I have
objectively
a,
true. Yeah, because the laws of logic are objectively true. They are part of the foundation of our reality. That's how we know, that's how we identify, that's how we assess our reality. That's how we determine our reality.
well, then what gives the right to say that freedom is deserved?
You
Right, that's
say
what
it
you
all
just
the time.
said.
Yeah.
No, I'm
Because
not saying. I'm talking about you. I'm
me,
talking about you specifically. You said that freedom is deserved. Okay,
because
that is
without it, you
part.
can't survive. Without it, you can't live. And so then what is the point of this existence if you don't have freedom? And so can you tell me an instance where a person thrives without freedom?
Oh, I mean, communists believe that they thrive all the time without freedom, right? Communists will say, yeah, communists will say that one dictator ruling a whole country will tell you that, okay, you're actually more free this way because you don't have to worry about capitalism, you don't have to worry about moving up a ladder chain. Well, I mean, I personally believe that communism is a almost a
Well, that's what I mean.
where you lose
Do they have freedom of movement? Is there
freedom of thought? Are they freedom of expression? No,
I asked
right?
for
They don't have that.
No, freedom of movement. So they can't. They
can move their body.
Yeah, they can move their bodies. They can eat, right? But they're not all in prison. That's what I mean by freedom.
Okay, so by freedom you literally mean like the ability to move your body the way that you
the
want.
definition of freedom, right?
No, I think freedom is way more longer expanded than just your body, right? That's why freedom of expression is protected
I would say if
under
something,
U.S. law.
Well, I would say then but I'm trying to understand. Are you saying then that people in communism don't have freedom yet they thrive? Is that what you're saying?
No, I don't think they're thriving.
Well,
I don't think they're thriving.
Well, that's my question. I asked you for an example of people who don't have freedom yet thrive.
Well, again, I think okay, I understand what you're trying to get to. The point I'm making is that for freedom, you're saying freedom is just the ability to move, eat, live. Okay,
well,
and
I can explain it more if you can tell me an instance in which a person thrives with no freedom.
Well, I'm disagreeing with the definition of freedom, and that's where I'm trying to get to.
The dictionary definition, you don't agree with the dictionary definition of freedom?
Well, let me pull up Webster real quick, and we'll see what. Let me just pull it up real fast, and I'll see what it says.
Yeah, because that's the dictionary definition. That's what I'm going with. I may have misstated it, but that's what I hold freedom is. It's the dictionary definition. So I mean, if you're trying to tell me that that's not the right definition, then.
Okay, it says Merriam-Webster, freedom is defined as the absence of necessity, coercion, or constraint in choice or action. So it agrees. It says that freedom is when you can't is the absence of necessity, coercion, or constraint in the choice or action. So yeah, they're constrained. I mean, if we want to go with this, they're constrained in their choices.
We're kind of pivoting here. I'm not talking about that. What I'm asking you is give me an instance. What instance can you tell me in which a person does not have freedom yet thrives?
None. There's not a situation where somebody doesn't have freedom and thrives.
Okay. So I would say by what you said, I would say we are all entitled to freedom. Wouldn't you agree? Because without freedom, we can't thrive.
Correct. But
what is the point of this existence? Like you,
let me ask you.
You believe in free will, right?
Oh, 100%. Yes, sir.
Okay. And so then would we be able to thrive without free will?
No.
Okay. So why are you asking me for my justification for freedom then? I mean,
I do agree. I just don't think I think your freedom.
Why are we fighting over this?
Well,
you agree with me.
I feel like the path has gotten lost here.
Yeah, but you're saying, well, you don't have a justification for freedom, but you have the same exact justification. So that means you don't have a justification for freedom.
No, I have a justification for a broader definition of freedom than what is said here in Merriam. I disagree because I really think that if you looked at it logically, I think you would also disagree with just the definition of this type of freedom, because I think that you like to be able to speak on this like live, right? You like to be able to have this opportunity, and that's a choice you make. Okay. That's a choice you make.
So are you saying that my choice to be on here could possibly be constrained, and I'd still have freedom?
No.
Then I'm still confused as to why we're having an issue about this, because we agree on the definition of freedom. So I'm I'm at a loss as to why you're contesting this with me. I mean, we agree on the definition, right?
Okay, I think we do. I think now, at first I thought you were saying that freedom to speak was not part of
No,
freedom.
that's not what I said.
Okay, so I'm good.
It's
I'm good.
without
I'm good.
constraint. It is according to the definition that you read.
Yeah.
So my question to you is then, are we entitled to that? Are we entitled to freedom?
Yes, we are entitled to
Okay,
freedom.
then we agree with that. All right.
Yeah, we're here. We're here.
Very simple.
Let's keep going.
Okay. All right, we're there. All right, fantastic. So Mac, if we are entitled to freedom, do you see it as a contradiction if I tried to take away your freedom without any justification while asserting my freedom?
Can you say it one more time? One more time.
Would it be a contradiction if I tried to take away your freedom with no justification while at the same time asserting my freedom, my right to freedom?
Well, I think with freedom comes the opportunity to take away other people's freedom.
Okay.
Do you agree with that?
Yes. What I'm asking you is it a contradiction?
Contradiction to what? Like the definition?
Me as saying that I am entitled to freedom, yet you are not entitled to freedom. That is a contradiction. Do you agree?
Yeah, but I mean,
There we go.
you have to encompass that freedom includes the choice to take away other freedom. Does that make sense?
Why so? I am
Well,
encompassing
because
that.
it's choice. It's choice, right?
But I just told you I am. So I don't understand. We're still on the same page, my guy. So all I'm asking you is it a contradiction for me to say I have freedom but you don't?
For you to say that, yes, it is a contradiction.
And to assert that, to take action to assert that, is that a contradiction?
No, because let me explain why I believe no. Let me explain why it's no. Because if you take away, but the whole point of choice is to actually be able to take away somebody else's
I didn't say
choice.
I didn't have a choice. What I'm
Okay,
saying
but that's
is,
a part of freedom. It's
but what I,
choice.
okay, I didn't say that. What I asked you is it a contradiction? We have a right to have contradictions. I'm not saying that it's not a choice. I'm not saying that I can't do that. What I'm saying is it a contradiction? That's all I'm asking you.
Okay, so you believe we have the right to contradiction.
You can, yeah, but that's part of what freedom is. You can believe in contradictory things. I'm not saying that you can't.
Okay, I'm just going to say yes to keep it moving.
Okay.
Because I don't wanna,
Well, I mean,
wanna
if
get
you
stuck
don't
here.
agree, then tell me why. I'm just.
Well, to say it's a contradiction to the definition of freedom. Okay, the whole
I didn't
point
say
of
that. I didn't say it was a contradiction to the definition of freedom. I'm saying it's a contradiction. It's simply a contradiction to believe that I have the right to freedom and you don't.
Yes, to believe that I have.
There we go.
It is a contradiction to believe that. You believe that you can have freedom and I can't is a contradiction.
Fantastic. That's all I was asking. Okay.
Boom, we're there.
Very good. We're there. Okay. So if that's the case, and it's a contradiction that violates the law of non-contradiction, all right? And so in my framework, that is immoral because it violates the law of non-contradiction. The laws of logic are objective. So I have objective morality. Now, on the other hand, I can demonstrate that you have subjective morality, that it's relative if you believe in a God.
Okay, so can you pull up those laws again?
Yeah.
That you had?
Yeah. And I saw the note, guys. I'm in the middle of resetting the live goal, but TikTok it responds slowly. So patience, please. All right. Okay, you see that?
Okay.
You see that? So
Yes.
yeah. So it violates the law of non-contradiction, right? Because I can't assert my freedom and then take away yours and not assert yours at the same time because there's no difference between us. You would agree with that, right?
Correct.
Okay. So I would say it's without justification. There would be an example of a justification of taking away somebody's freedom is if they committed a crime, right? And we do that all the time. We take away people's right to freedom when they commit a crime. And it's for the reasons of public safety and also to teach them a lesson, right? So that they understand if you commit a crime, we will take away your freedom. So it's just very simple, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you commit a crime, there are consequences.
Yeah, there are consequences.
To that,
and
for
that's
sure.
taking away your freedom. And that's a pretty good consequence, right? So so my whole point is that if say that, you know, if I saw a bike in your garage, right? If I'm walking by your house and I see a bike in your garage, wouldn't you say that it would be infringing upon your freedom if I just walked up and took your bike? Because it's right. It would be infringing upon your freedom, right?
Yeah, it would be infringing upon the freedom that I had to either choose the bike, but then you see, and that's why I feel like this is really circular. And the reason I say that it's circular is because he used his freedom to do what he wanted to do, but it went against my freedom.
Okay, how is it circular?
Well, because we said freedom is choices, right? Freedom is the ability to have endless choices that you can make.
Okay.
On your own.
We got a prop here. So you said it's circular. Okay. So here's a charger. Here's a cable. So what's the circular argument here? So
okay, circular. First part is that freedom is choice.
Freedom is choice.
Okay. Okay. Taking away somebody else's freedom via choice is a contradiction.
That's not what I said.
Yeah,
you're misunderstanding what I just said. That's not what I said. So let me try it again. It is, I didn't say taking away somebody's freedom. While it is, and in a way it is circular, because what I'm saying is I am saying when I steal your bike, I am saying I have the freedom to take your bike, right?
Correct.
Okay, so I'm exercising my choice.
Correct.
Right?
Correct. I'm here.
When I steal your bike, Mac, do you have the choice to use your bike?
If I take it back from
I steal your bike, do you have the choice to use it after I steal it?
No.
Okay, so that means I took away your choice.
Yes, you took away my choice to use my bike.
Fantastic, which means I took away your freedom. So we can say that I exercised my freedom and my choice while taking away your choice without any justification.
Yes, but
okay,
it's true.
Not
you're right. You're right.
Yeah,
I'm not
so
gonna
that is the contradiction. That is the contradiction.
But that contradiction then exists within all of the humanity. Here's where I can get there.
Yeah, and it's not moral. I agree. There's contradictions everywhere about that. But I agree. I totally agree with that. I didn't say that it stops people from, committing wrong acts. I just said it's not moral. It's immoral.
Well, let me ask you, if I went to Walmart, okay, and I found the last bike there on the bike rack, and I bought that bike. It's the last one in stock. They're never going to make it again, right? I buy that bike. Person behind me comes up, wants to buy that same bike. Okay, they can't buy it.
Nope.
Because I used my choice to buy that bike.
Yeah.
Is that a moral contradiction?
No.
Why not?
The reason why is because you didn't infringe upon their freedom, because it's that particular bike, but you're not taking away their choice to ride.
But didn't I?
Bike. No.
But didn't I? Not to buy any bike. They wanted to buy that bike. I took away their choice to
Yep.
buy that bike.
Yep.
Because I bought it first.
Yep. You bought it first, but nobody owned the bike, right?
Walmart
owned
did,
the bike.
Right?
Walmart did, but they had it for sale, right? And what are the terms of sale? It's the first person who gets to it gets to buy the bike, right? First come, first serve, right?
Right, but I'm saying with your logic, I've created a moral action because I infringed upon their right to choose.
No,
because they wanted to choose. Yes, that's what I mean. Okay, then tell me if I'm wrong here with your moral definition. If I infringe on your right to choose, move, eat, sleep, do what you want, that's an immoral act.
Yeah, and it's not infringing upon their freedom.
Then I definitely just infringed on their freedom due to your definition.
No,
because they can't choose to buy that bike anymore.
Category error.
Wow. How? I think that's pretty good explained.
No, it's a category error because the thing is that nobody owns the bike yet. All right, except Walmart.
Walmart owns the bike.
Yeah, and what they are doing is they are putting it up for sale. And if anybody is immoral, if you're going to look at it from that point of view, it's Walmart, because they're not providing bikes for everybody. So they're not providing the opportunity. So they're the ones that are infringing upon that person's freedom and well-being. It's
So
not
lack of
you.
opportunity, you think
It's
would
not
be a
you.
better definition.
Yeah, it's not you. It's not you that's doing that because you're both relying on Walmart to supply the bikes, right? Now, here's another way to look at it. If you say bought every bike in existence, okay? And so let's just say this manufacturer manufactured 500,000 bikes and you bought every single one so that nobody can have a bike, that would be immoral.
So
right.
you think because if say one manufacturer produces 500,000, let's say
And they
cars.
say that they're not going to make any more bikes, right? And so they're giving,
Right, and I
they're
buy 'em
they're
all
giving
because-
everybody, yeah, and you just buy them all because you want them all, because you say, hey, it's my freedom to buy all
Right.
these bikes if I want to.
Oh,
I would
yes,
say-
it's my freedom
Yeah.
to choose.
Yeah,
to choose
and I
that.
would say that in itself is not immoral. Now, I don't think any of this is immoral because there are constraints to this, because Walmart only has so much money to buy these bikes. There are, there's supply and demand. They're not obligated to give everybody a bike, right? They're not obligated to do that. So in the
Correct.
in the context of supply and demand, they buy what they feel that they can supply. If it's only 500, then it's 500. But it's not.
Okay,
it's
but
not immoral. No.
Based on your definition, you just brought up a new example of the manufacturer. Based on your definition, why is it then immoral to buy all the bikes just from the manufacturer
Because
in
there are,
comparison
you would
to
do
just
it.
taking a bike?
The reason in comparison to just taking one.
No, sorry, I don't want to compare to that. I want to compare it to the me buying the bike from Walmart.
You buying the bike from Walmart, the reason being is because they are a supplier, and under the terms of supply and demand, well, not a supplier, they're a retailer, right? So if you go
Yes.
under the terms of supply and demand, all right, they aren't required to provide bikes for everybody
But
unless
neither
they
is a
say
private
they will.
business, right?
Right.
Neither is a business that
neither is
manufactures
a
bikes.
wholesaler or manufacturer. That's what I'm saying.
Correct.
Is that, but they produced a big enough quantity in that it would supply a large number of people. And you buying all 500,000 to keep for yourself? Well, can you ride all 500,000 bikes at the same time? No.
I got big legs, man.
You got big legs. Maybe
I
all right?
can
You got
move,
awful
brother.
big legs. Well, I mean, that'd be more miraculous than Jesus riding 2 donkeys. I'm going to tell you that much, right?
That's a
So
good one.
that being the case, then I would say that is the definition of greed, right? Because you don't need 500,000 bikes. You just need one. Maybe you need 2, 3, 4, 5 for your family, right? One for each of your family members, let's just say. But you don't have 500,000 family members, right? So in essence, that would be immoral. But you taking the last bike because it's for sale is not infringing upon somebody else's freedom and well-being.
Well,
in a way
the
that's
bikes
immoral.
the bikes
Without
from the
justification.
manufacturer were for sale too.
Well, like I
right?
said, it's without justification. The justification that you're infringing upon their freedom and well-being is it's the last bike. That's the justification. So it's an unfortunate
But
circumstance.
but then the justification for me was that I wanted all the bikes, right? Like that's my justification.
And
I
what-
wanted them all.
Okay, and
And
how do
so I bought them
under
all.
what
That's perfect.
justification?
Fairly.
Okay, and under what justification is that okay?
Well,
I
my
want
choice.
them?
Because it's my choice.
Because
That's why it
it
makes it okay. Because it's my choice. It makes it okay.
So then what that means then is what you're saying is then it is okay. Okay, because no, that doesn't fly. Okay.
Why
Because-
not? Well, I mean, why
The
not?
reason why
Because
it
if it's
doesn't
my
fly is,
choice.
again, it's not your choice because you're infringing upon others' freedom and well-being.
Well, there are other bike manufacturers, right? There's
Yeah,
other
there are
bike
other bike
manufacturers. They can buy
manufacturers.
from other bike guys. But I wanted to buy from this company because I loved all those bikes.
Yeah.
And I wanted them all to myself. That's my justification.
Yeah. And
Okay, but why is that? And then so, how is that different from your definition of just
because you're not
taking
doing it, you're not buying the last bike that Walmart has in stock. You're not doing it for greed purposes because you're doing it because you want a bike, one bike. All right.
So purpose matters.
Purpose matters. Exactly.
Okay.
That's justification. And again,
Right.
greed doesn't have justification. 500,000 bikes, there's no justification for that. One bike, justification. 2 bikes,
So who
justification.
decides what's justifiable and what's not?
Laws of logic.
Okay, but why is it a contradiction for me to say that I want all those bikes just because I feel like my emotions matter, my opinions matter, right? Like how I feel matters because I feel I want them. Why is that not
Again,
okay?
it violates the law of non-contradiction because what
yeah,
you're
I'm
saying,
asking, yeah.
because you don't have a justification for it. You don't have a sufficient justification.
Okay, but who are you to tell me if it's sufficient or not?
Okay.
That's my question, right?
What is the
Why
sufficient
can't- why-
justification for wanting 500,000 bikes? Because I want
Because
it.
because I
That's
want
circular.
them.
I want the bikes because I want them. That's circular, and that's not.
That's
a
not.
justification.
It's a simple definition. I want the bikes
I want the bikes.
because
Why do you want the bikes?
I want them.
Because I want them. There it is. That's circular.
That's not circular.
I want the bikes because I want them. It is
No,
circular.
I want them
Okay,
because
let's
I
do
want
this
them
again.
all.
Let's do this again.
Oh my God.
You want the bikes, right?
Oh man. Yes.
Okay.
I want them.
Why do you want the bikes?
Because I want them.
It did it again.
Okay. Well, why is me
Totally
wanting
circular.
not? Why is me wanting not justifiable?
I want the
enough?
bikes because I want the bikes. That's circular.
But why
You
is me
gotta have
wanting
it-
not
Okay,
justifiable?
because a
enough?
justification requires something independent of it. All right.
Okay.
I want
And
the
you-
bikes. Yeah, I want the bikes because I want to get into shape and exercise. But you don't need 500,000 bikes to do that. Can you get in shape and exercise with
Okay.
one
Can
bike?
you, can you get your prop out real quick? Get your prop out.
My
One
prop
second.
out? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna give a different example. I want a bike because I want to give it away to somebody.
Okay, that's not circular.
Why? I said want in both sentences. I said I want in both sentences. Why is it not circular?
Because I want the bike because I want the bike.
Sorry.
You have two different reasons. I want the bike and I want to give it away to somebody.
Okay,
That's-
okay, fine.
that's
Then,
not
okay,
circular.
then let's bring the prop back. I want the bike because I want to keep them. Oh, boom! Oh, we're here. Undo it. It's not. Undo the plug. It's not.
I want the bike because I want to keep them.
In my garage. You know, for I want to keep them in my garage. That's not. Because what I do with it shouldn't matter
It's
justification.
not about the
because
word
now,
want.
but
It's about,
now if I say
it's
if
about
I want,
intent. It's about the intent.
but now if I say
Because-
I want them because I want to give them to people
Yeah.
who need them, it changes. Why?
Well, because there's a different chain. There's a causal chain there. Because it's
Well,
not.
you're saying
it's not,
that's because
it's not because you're not keeping it for yourself. It's not. It has nothing to do with yourself. All right. But if you're saying I want the bike because I don't want anybody else to have one, well, you're still keeping the bike. All right. Or I want the bike because I don't want anybody else to have it, so I'm going to destroy all the bikes. Okay. Well, that's not a causal chain, but it is still not a justification.
I mean, it's my choice.
It is
It's
your
my choice to destroy the bike
And that's a
if I
reason.
want.
That's not a justification. That's a reason. Reason. Are you saying all reasons are justifications?
Well, I mean, under your worldview, I would say that you're right.
I didn't say. I didn't ask you that. I asked you. Are all
Oh, my
reasons-
worldview, no.
Okay, and so you're saying under my worldview, all reasons are justifications.
Correct. I do believe that's where the that's
Demonstrate
why I
that.
believe your definition of
Demonstrate
freedom
that. What's
is
your evidence of
construed.
that? Yeah, but what's your evidence of that?
Well,
All
because
reasons are
you-
justifications.
Well, because you said freedom is choice. Okay. All choices should be justified because it's my freedom.
Yeah, and what's justification?
That-
how do you justify things?
Because you said we have a moral objectivity and freedom. We all have that.
That's not what I said.
Okay, and-
Brother, you've been straw manning me for the last 27 minutes.
It's been good. It's been a great conversation.
It has been,
Okay.
but you've been straw manning me the whole time. So I need you to define what justification means.
Oh, justification comes from if you want to just change topics on why I think some choices are justified or not, we can do that. That's the whole thing I was trying to get with here is that I don't believe that atheists can have justifications.
Okay.
I don't think they can have justifications
You can't have
because
just-
there are no moral absolutes.
Okay. There are no. So you believe that there are no moral absolutes?
No, I do. Atheists don't.
You don't think atheists do?
No, and then that's the issue.
Okay. And
That's
so
what
again-
this whole thing's been about, Trust,
Okay.
right? That's the
So
whole thing.
again, how do you define justification? What is your definition of justification?
My definition of justification?
Yeah.
That's a good question. Let me give me a second. I'm gonna try to really word it correctly.
It's the action of showing something to be right or reasonable. But
And then we have to get all the way back. If you're gonna say it's right or reasonable, we're gonna have to get all the way back to who defines right, right?
Okay.
And that's where that
Is one
conversation.
person owning 500,000 bikes, is that reasonable?
To them, yes. To
I
me,
didn't
no.
say to them. I said,
To
is
me-
it reasonable? Okay. And what's
To
reasonable?
me, no, it's not reasonable.
Okay. What's reasonable about it?
That they wanted them. That's
That they wanted them? So a
Correct.
circular.
And-
Okay, so they want the bikes
No,
because
that's
they
what I'm
want the
saying. I
bikes,
think-
which is a circular,
Okay.
it's circular reasoning. You're telling me that's reasonable. Circular reasoning is reasonable?
to an atheist worldview, yes.
Okay.
That worldview, yes. Not to me, no.
And how so?
Because we've already talked. We've gone over this like 10
Okay,
times.
yeah, you're
it's,
asserting something, you haven't demonstrated it. You're just asserting it. You're just saying you have no morals. You have no way to determine.
That's what I've
what's
been. That's what I've
reasonable.
been trying to demonstrate this whole time. Trust
And
is-
you
is the
have
fact that-
failed. You have
I
absolutely
don't think
failed.
so. I really think I've said it, and you've tried to construe me wrong again.
Okay,
And here's
I
the
can
reason.
demonstrate that I have morals. Okay, so, and I can tell you that it is objectively immoral. Okay, so is rape good?
No.
No, rape is not good. Is there any circumstance in which rape is good?
No.
No. Okay. In that sense, so committing the act of rape is not good. No circumstance in which committing the act of rape is not good. Is allowing someone to rape when you have the power to stop it good?
Is allowing somebody? Oh no, that's horrible.
When you have the power to stop it.
100%, you should.
Okay. So if we found an instance of God not only allowing rape but commanding it, would that be good?
And no, I don't think it would be good. I don't think God should. I mean, it's hard for me to judge what God does.
All right, chat.
but,
You guys know what's coming up next. It's
I know
undefeated.
what's coming.
Yep.
I know where you're going. I already know the Old Testament
Where am I
verse
going?
you want to go to.
Where am I going?
Old Testament. Let me pull it up. I'll pull it up for you. Give me
Let's
a
see if you
second.
can guess which one I'm going to do.
Problem is that there's actually a few of them. So that's
A few of them of God allowing rape. Yes, you are
in
right.
multiple religions too. So
Oh yeah, I agree with you, but I don't. That's why I don't believe in any of them. Totally agree.
you want to talk about like Deuteronomy 22? Is that where you want to go?
No, I have one that's undefeated.
Okay.
Want me to just save time and we'll pull it up?
Yeah. Because I mean,
Okay.
you know,
We're going to go over time, everybody. I know time's up, but we're going to go over time a little bit. So, okay, we're going to go to 2 Samuel chapter 12, verses 8 through 12. It's undefeated.
I should have got there first.
Yeah, it is totally undefeated.
Give me the numbers again. one more time.
2 Samuel chapter 12,
Yeah.
verses 8 through 12. Totally and
There we go.
completely undefeated.
All right, go ahead.
All right. So first let's talk about what consent is. What is consent?
Oh gosh. We can say consent is
Oh gosh,
the.
that's not a good start, my friend.
Oh gosh, I know where you're going. Okay, so but I'll go here with you. I'll go here with you. So consent is between two parties or between a person and a thing, whatever however you want to define it. It would be allowing something to happen between an altercation or an interaction.
Okay.
Okay, or being okay with it.
Being okay with it. Okay.
I think that's what consent would.
Okay.
That's a good definition.
Okay. So when we talk about consensual sex, what's that mean?
Two man, woman, or man and woman having sex because they want to.
They both want that.
Correct.
Right? And
Correct.
so we have an acronym called FRIES that determines what consent is. And that means it's freely given, it is reversible, it is informed, enthusiastic, and S. Shit. Chat, help me out. Which one's S?
Can you give me the FRIE
Specific.
again? I'm gonna
Thank
write
you.
these down.
Specific.
I want to write these down.
FRIES. Yes, I highly implore you to do that because
I mean,
this will keep you out of prison. Yes, this will keep you out of prison. So,
S-
fries.
what was
like
the
French fries?
yeah,
Fries freely given,
freely given,
reversible,
reversible,
informed,
informed,
enthusiastic,
enthusiastic,
and specific.
specific. Awesome. Got it.
All right. So that's consent. All right. So
Got it.
that's how we can measure consent, and I would say that's objective.
You would say this is an objective?
I would say that, yeah. I would say it's objective. So if say a person is not enthusiastic about giving consent, like if they just say, I guess, would you say you have consent?
The law would, I would not. Correct. The
Yeah,
U.S.
and
law
I'd
would
say-
say you had it.
Yeah, and
But
I'd
I
say
would
the
not.
law is wrong. Yeah, I would.
Yeah, I mean, no, I agree. I agree. But
Yeah.
I'm just saying that the law would say that,
Yeah.
but I would not.
Yeah, and I agree. I would say the law is wrong on that. So, so I don't consider the law to be objective, right?
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, I don't consider it to be objectively true.
Yeah, I think that's probably really true. Especially, I mean, it's like humans. I think humans have a hard time being objective. You know, a lot of it, like in
which is why I use the
skull.
laws of logic. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's exactly why I use the laws of logic. So, okay, so let's look at 2 Samuel chapter 12, 8 through 12. Okay, so you're familiar with the story of Bathsheba and David, right?
Yes.
Okay, so we don't have to go through 8 through 10. We
No.
can just go skip straight to 11. All right. So it says, thus says the Lord. This is God's judgment. I will raise up trouble against you from within your own house, and I will take your wives before your eyes and give them to your neighbor, and he shall lie with your wives in broad daylight. So since we have the 5 finger test for consent, can you point out to me where the wives gave consent to this in verse 11?
Well, is it said here in verse 11, right? And we can highlight it here. Is it said here that the wives did not?
Yeah. So the wives
Oh, it
did not.
does. Okay, so then let's see it.
Yeah. So God commanded rape. It's that simple.
He says, I will take your wives.
I will take your
before
wives.
your
I will raise up
eyes.
trouble against you. I will take them before your eyes and give them to your neighbor. Do you have a significant other, Mac?
Oh, yes, I am married.
Okay, if you're married. So if God
But let's
commanded
not talk about my personal wife
all right.
here.
Well,
Okay,
it's
let's not.
okay. So if a man is married and God commands that his wife is taken before his eyes and given to his neighbor, has his wife given consent?
In that context, no.
Has not. Right. Yeah. And so what well, you were about to say the magic word for Christians, context. So in what context would it be acceptable?
Right.
Would it be consent? In what context would it be consent?
It's not specifically laid out in this verse that God didn't say that he would ask the wives or tell them to leave.
I don't think that was my question. What was my question?
Your question to me, Trust, is that if God's saying that rape here is okay.
No, we got to back up a little bit. My question to you was, in what context would it be consent? Because you used the word context. You said in this if God commanded that a man's wife be taken and given to his neighbor, you said in that context it would not be consent. And I'm asking you, in what context would it be consent?
If she said it was okay.
She said it was okay, exactly. So she has to give the okay, right?
Correct.
Okay, so now let's go back to the verse. Where did the wives give okay here?
In this verse, it doesn't specifically say that they gave a consent.
Then they did not give consent. It's that simple.
Is the absence of that, let me ask you, okay, a genuine question. In the absence of, in this verse, okay, it doesn't say that God asked them, hey, will you do this? He says, I take. Okay, he does say, I will take your wives. Key word there. He does say, I will take your wives. What's funny? You're already laughing at me.
Yeah, because you just made my point for me. I will take.
No.
It's not consent.
I agree. He says, I will take them. I'm trying to remember, but I'm actually trying to remember what happened right before this, because I do like to read the verse, but right before and right after, in between these. Can you read number 10 for me?
Yeah. So 10 says, now therefore the sword shall never depart from your house, for you have despised me and have taken the wife of Uriah the Hittite to be your wife. So and so in that sense you can
he defiled God.
Yeah, he defiled God.
He used his freedom to defile what God commanded him to do.
Okay. So
So this is
what-
is this a consequence? Is my question to you.
this is a
This is a
consequence.
consequence for defying God.
Okay. So what you're saying then is, as a consequence of David defying God, God took David's wives and gave them to his neighbor.
Well,
so
let me
that
ask
his
you,
neighbor shall lie with them in broad daylight. So what
Let me
you're
ask
saying
you, would
then,
you feel punished?
I would,
would
but
you
that's
feel
not the
punished?
point. I would, but
Okay,
that's not the
well-
point. What I'm asking you is, because we're pivoting away from this. So let's not run. We're talking about consent.
I'm here, brother. I'm here with you.
Okay, thank you. Did the wives give consent, yes or no?
No.
There we go. So they were raped. Hands down.
Correct.
Okay. So you go through that
I'll-
5-finger
I'll-
test.
I'll-
Was it freely given? No. Was it revocable? Did the wives have the opportunity to revoke this? Say, I don't want this. Do you see
No.
that here? Informed. Were the wives informed?
No.
Enthusiastic. Do you see enthusiasm on the part of the wives here?
Oh, we don't see non-enthusiasm, but you're right.
Okay.
We don't see any emotions, but correct.
And the only thing we have is specifics, right? God explicitly says what he's going to do. That's specific. So he
Yeah,
met
he-
one of the, but see, all 5 have to be present for there to be consent. All 5. And we only have one of the 5. So there's no consent here. So that means God commanded a rape. And you said earlier that there is no situation in which commanding a rape is good. So how can a good God command something that's not good?
That's a good question.
And that's a contradiction, my friend. All right. Well, that's all the time we have. So I do have to let you go. But maybe
Hey,
you
yeah,
chew on
man.
this for a minute. Yeah. Chew on this.
Yeah,
and
no,
then come
I
back.
will. I
We'll
like
talk about
I
it.
like the this conversation was really great, man. Most of the atheists that are on like TikTok and stuff suck. They just really mean and rude and don't actually care or want to have a conversation. So I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, hey, I appreciate you waiting. I know you waited in the queue for a long time. I do appreciate that. And hey, Mac, enjoy the rest of your day.
Thanks, man. You too, Trust.
Take care. All right. So, and there it is. There you have it. 2 Samuel 12 walks away undefeated yet again. No explanation. And unless you are in denial and you're going to say God didn't command rape, and it says it right there. It says it plain as day. We just read it. So either you are in denial or you have a reading comprehension problem. One of the two. It cannot be. You can't just look at it and say nuh-uh. So that's what we have. All right. So we're gonna end this with my bringing up our mods, I should say, and this is the community's mods, not ours as in ownership, possessive, not in the possessive sense, but in the community sense. These are our mods. So let's bring them up so we can, and some of them may not be able to because it is a different time of day. But let's bring them up anyway, because we need to, this is what I do. This is my custom, right? This is what I customarily do. I bring them up and I express gratitude and appreciation. And then I ask that the chat do that as well, because they keep things above board and copacetic and peaceful and all that stuff. So,
It's our mods in the communist sense.
Yes, in the collective sense, exactly. Because I do not own the means of production. That's right. That's right. And also we have an appearance by Hammy, and of course we do have to follow legislation. It is law. It is required. Do you have a reading for us, Hammy?
I do, and this one I'm going to keep secret and see if y'all know where this is from.
Oh my goodness!
You have to guess. I'm giving y'all homework ish.
And in my defense, I apologize. I do not have your prep music ready because I did not expect to see you today. So
it's all right. I didn't expect to see myself here today either, but you know, the body says, "Hey, guess what? Little sleep, you're good."
It is what it is, right?
Here we are.
Here we are.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Okay.
So this is the choice reading, and I'm going to see if y'all all
Ooh,
Have your
love
thinking
a good
caps on.
quiz. Yeah, we love a good
Yeah,
quiz.
to figure out where this is coming from. Mr. Jones of the Manor Farm had locked the hen houses for the night, but was too drunk to remember to shut the pop holes. With the ring of light from his lantern dancing from side to side, he lurched across the yard, kicked off his boots at the back door, drew himself a last glass of beer from the barrel in the scullery, and made his way up to bed, where Mrs. Jones was already snoring. As soon as the light in the bedroom went out, there was a stirring and a fluttering all through the farm buildings. Word had gone round during the day that old Major, the prize middle white boar, had had a strange dream on the previous night and wished to communicate it to the other animals. It had been agreed that they should all meet in the big barn as soon as Mr. Jones was safely out of the way. Old Major, so he was always called, though the name under which he had been exhibited was Willingdon Beauty, was so highly regarded on the farm that everyone was quite ready to lose an hour's sleep in order to hear what he had to say. At one end of the big barn, on a sort of raised platform, Major was already ensconced on his bed of straw, under a lantern which hung from a beam. He was 12 years old and had lately grown rather stout, but he was still a majestic-looking pig, with a wise and benevolent appearance in spite of the fact that his tushes had never been cut. Before long, the other animals began to arrive and make themselves comfortable after their different fashions. First came the 3 dogs, Bluebell, Jessie, and Pincher, and then the pigs, who settled down in the straw immediately in front of the platform. The hens perched themselves on the windowsills, the pigeons fluttered up to the rafters, the sheep and cow lay down behind the pigs and began to chew the cud. The two cart horses, Boxer and Clover, came in together, walking very slowly and setting down their vast hairy hooves with great care lest there should be some small animal concealed in the straw. Clover was a stout motherly mare approaching middle life, who had never quite got her figure back after her foal. And that's where we're going to stop right now.
Oh, goodness.
I heard you, so I say, oh, so I know you know.
I think I know.
Does anybody else know where it is? Where this
The
is
creator, it's actually funny you're reading that because the creator Peach Loves has been reading it on their lives as well. I read it in high school, but yeah, this has been very recent as well.
Yes, okay, so you know. We did get one guest in the chat. Oh, now 2. And for those of y'all who are participating and saying it, y'all are correct. It is indeed Animal Farm. Written by George Orwell.
Yes. I didn't at first. I didn't recognize it at first, and I'm like, oh, there it is.
Yes, Godwin, we are allowed to say it's Orwellian. This is the one time we can say it's Orwellian.
Yeah, this is the one time we can say.
Well, yes.
Thank you for that. Thank you for
yes,
that.
not a problem. Of course.
Gifts, W's, follows for everyone who is up here, please, because they're fantastic people. All of them. All of them are. And not all of the mods came up because, they have lives, but we all have lives, but they have lives that are getting in the way of them coming up.
I don't have a life.
Not to say that you guys have no life. No. What I'm saying is we all have lives, but their lives are getting in the way of them coming
I
up.
have no life.
Well, I don't either. So there you go. But see, I contend that all of you do. I have no life. Yes, I know. I'm sorry. We do have to end. I have to go. And also I want to recognize Blaster Master 80. And I don't know if Rainbow Ash was in there, but it looks like Blaster Master 80 was holding things down all by himself. And there was HLT, one of our members who was in there contributing.
I think Pseudo was in there earlier.
Oh, Pseudo. Yeah, Pseudo V Science. I did see that. I did see him. And also Ember is a member as well. So thank you to the members, to the mods, to Hammy, for doing his awesome thing. And yeah, who are we rating? That's a great question to hear. Let's
look.
see.
All I gotta say, the last thing I have to say is that we took the blows and we did it our way since the end is near.
We did. You know what? I don't see anybody. Oh yeah, there we go. So we have Ian who's on for the afternoon. We could just jump over to Ian's live. Why not do a raid? I've never raided Ian before. I know he doesn't probably need folks, but why not? Ian's a bucket of fun. So let's go raid Ian. Let's do it. And in case you guys didn't know, Ian is, I can't go into the live. It's allegedly Ian. So just type in allegedly Ian into your search bar in case you don't know. And also, last thing, gifts, follows, W's for the guests who are up here now. The mods, the Black Atheist Rants on? I don't see, because I'm following. Oh, he just came on.
Well, he was on, like, before I came into the live. He was. I saw that he was on.
Let's do this. Let's do Black Atheist Rants. Black Atheist Rants is a really, really good creator too. Man, super knowledgeable about history. I was in his live recently, and man, he blew me away with how much history he knows. So let's do Black Atheist Rants. You guys will really enjoy that. So well read. And if you're not following Black Atheist Rants, you really need to, because he's an excellent content creator. Excellent.
Yeah, it's the funniest thing is that you mentioned history. Whenever he would talk about Alexander the Great, and people would kept saying Alexander the Great, he said Alexander of in the town, right? And somebody's like, "Wait, who's that?" And he was like, "You've been calling him Alexander the Great." He's like, "I call him that because he wasn't great." And he explains like all the fucked up shit Alexander did back then. And I was like, "Oh damn, I didn't know this shit."
Yeah, I didn't know any. Yeah, he's just a well of knowledge. So you guys will really enjoy that, and puts together really, really good arguments. And yeah, I think you guys will enjoy it. I mean, he's better than I am at this. So you guys will really enjoy it. So let's go raid Black Atheist Rants. I'm going to join you all over there. And I think Black Atheist Rants is also on YouTube. I'm pretty sure he is. So you should be able to type up a search and find him regardless. So let's do that. Let's head over there. I will see you guys all over there. And then I got to dip and take my daughter to a doctor's appointment. But hey man, thank you all for showing up and showing out for the early episode of Trust But Verify. I had to come on a little earlier today, but man, you all showed up. So thank you for that. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. And I will see you all tomorrow. Take care. Later.